Didn't even get this ready. Oh man. What's going on, everybody? Happy Monday. Yeah, had to think about that for a minute. Holy. I hope everyone's holidays were good. I hope everyone stayed safe. We got one more show for you. This is the final new comic book spec show of 2020 until the new year. I hope everybody's excited about the new year. I know I'm ready for 2021, just like a lot of other people are. So, yeah, it is what it is. Thank you for joining. I'm going to warn a lot of people. Everyone in the chat, everyone on the panel today is wearing sleeves. Everyone involved in today's show is wearing sleeves. So keep that in mind. Outside of that, let's get the show started. Let's bring in Mr. Quebec, the legendary man himself, Mr. Hyper.
What's up? What's up?
What's going on, man?
Yeah, I actually came on time today.
Yeah, it's crazy. I told you to show up half hour early, and
this is what happens when you actually have a week off of work. You actually get stuff done.
Yeah, and go figure. It's the one week that's like literally. I think there's like 12 books that are coming out this week. It's really quiet, but
it's going to be a pretty slow week.
Yeah. And let's not leave our third panel member in the cold. It is Mr. FaceTime.
What's going on? So I got a question. How do you know I'm wearing sleeves? How do you know I'm wearing sleeves?
Newbie be creeping in your window.
Man,
I just assumed.
See, I got Rorschach as my avatar. You gotta know I'm already paranoid. Now you scaring me. I'm being watched. What's going on, newbie?
You know, I hope everyone's Christmas.
And Hyper's on time. It's a Christmas miracle.
Yeah, I know. The only one we're missing is Keys. He is. I don't know where he is, but he's not on tonight. Hopefully, he jumps on tomorrow night for our final show of 2020. I know today when I broadcasted it or mentioned it in the stories, I had said, final show of 2020, and somebody was like, "Man, you're done?" And I'm like, "Of 2020, like 2021 is Friday, so next week when you see me, it's 2021. So not done, just done for 2020.
Done for the whole year.
Yeah, like we said." It is a quiet week this week. There's not a lot of books coming out. Obviously, with the holidays, it usually happens, right? So hopefully we entertain you guys with the books that are coming out, some comic news. I'm sure we all
really like this.
And some spec talk. So kicking it off, I know last week we did something totally weird and we kicked it off with DC. However, what we're going to do today is we're going to go back to the original format just because I got previews already lined up. So we're going to start off with previews. I'm going to put my phone on vibrate because that is extremely rude. So I apologize, everybody. So yeah, let's get started, guys. We're going to start with Image, and I don't even have to, make it bigger or anything because there's only three goddamn books coming out for Image this week. The only one that I can see
the screens this week, bro.
Yeah, it's really weak. But the only one that I recognize is the nail biter one. I don't recognize that's Lost Soldiers. That's where we're starting off. But Lost Soldiers number.
Lost Soldiers, I think. Yeah,
What?
Lost Soldiers. I haven't been reading it, but I did pick up the first issue. It's a mini series about some Vietnam era soldiers. And I'll be honest, I forget what the rest of the premise was.
Nice.
Hey, it's the last book. It's probably not meant to be.
I read a lot of books. My bad.
But yeah, it's the end of the series. Not really much to say. Hyper, did you pick it up? Are you reading it?
No, I have no 2 cents to offer to any of these 3 titles. So
I'm not really big on the war stuff either, to be honest with you guys. So I never really picked it up. That's probably
I've heard good things about the monstrous stuff, but I haven't actually picked it up yet. So,
well, that's it's done too. It's a small short series, right? 2 out of 2.
Well, this is an offshoot of a larger.
Yeah, it's a spin-off kind of.
I believe there's a larger series that's on like issue like 20.
I think he's cutting out. Face,
Yeah.
you're cutting out.
Okay, I thought it was just me that.
No,
that issue.
What's that?
you're cutting out, man.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. I said this is an offshoot of like a larger series. I think it's on issue like 20 something.
Oh, okay.
We're getting some rain, so I don't know.
Yeah, again, another book that is not really, super popular. I mean, I don't want to offend anybody. If anyone in the chat is reading it, let us know how it is. And the final book for Image this week is Nail Biter Returns number 8, a title that I recognize, a title that I am not reading, however. I want to say it was Face, and I say that just simply because I know he buys way more books than Hyper myself. But Face, are you on this run?
No, actually, I'm not. It's
No?
one that's written by Josh Williamson, who I generally do like. But I have enough books on my pull list and I keep adding to it, and this just didn't make the list.
Hyper, are you on this run or no?
Not at all.
Mhm.
Not at all. Yeah, I'm kind of selective on my Image titles, and yeah, this isn't one of them.
Yeah, I can agree with you guys there.
I've heard good things about it. Like I've heard it's pretty decent from
Well, I
a couple
mean-
people that have been reading it.
I mean, like you said, Face, the fact that it's Williamson writing it all is already a bit of a sell in and of itself.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. And I actually didn't know that when it started up, so that's one of the reasons why I didn't pick it up first.
Moving on to Dark Horse. I mean, I think we're going to get through the new comic book aspect super quick just because of the fact there isn't that many books. It is the holidays, right? So we're probably going to just hang, get the comic news, comic spec that we're, kind of thinking about, reading about, things like that. So, if you guys are tuning in and I see a lot of new people coming, just keep in mind it is a week. It is a short list of books this week. So it'll probably fly a little quicker than shows in the past, but we'll get through it. That's what I always say. When people start freaking out and say, hey, we're going to get through it. So, so we're going to Dark Horse.
You're a very motivational person.
Yeah, I'm very chill.
Hell of a pep talk, bro.
Yeah.
A hell of a pep
I'm
talk.
a motivator, man. I'm a motivator. That's what happens.
Right, I'm
And
ready for battle now.
the other thing that I was talking to FaceTime before about is it's kind of going to get interesting too. Like I was saying to Face, I'm in Canada. Me and Hyper, I mean, we're in Canada, different provinces, but like we just went back on lockdown.
Yeah.
As of Saturday. So for the next month, like everything is closed. There hasn't really been any word on some of the shows or shops rather on what they're going to do. So it's going to be very interesting. You guys are going to hear me say, oh man, I missed that book or we didn't get that book because, if you're not a gas station, a pharmacy or a grocery store, everything is locked down here until January 28th or 26th, I believe. So
Wow, for you it's until the 26th?
Yeah, 26th.
Okay, mine's a bit shorter, but you're right. For me, it's up until the 11th.
Oh wow!
But even 11th, it's almost like a soft release. It's not even guaranteed that it could actually be extended further, depending on how they, what the government assesses. But yeah, man, like you said, to your point, I won't be able to actually go to the shop until that point, unless they arrange curbside pickup. But from what I understand, even curbside pickup is technically not allowed because it's not considered comic shops aren't considered an essential service. So
and it's also going to be interesting to see if we have what happened earlier on in the year, right, where it was like they weren't even releasing anything. Like that's what I'm kind of scared. Like I just feel like we're going to get to a point, like maybe in a week or two, where they're like, hey, by the way, we're going to extend it because this is the best time to extend it. Obviously, we're in Canada. It's freezing. January, February, March, historically, those are the months that are super cold. You don't really be outside anyway, so it's the perfect time to say, hey, you know what? Stay at home, right? So we'll see what happens.
I mean, that all sounds great and everything. And this week is dead, so that probably won't hurt you too much.
No, this week, yeah.
The next 2 weeks are murder.
Yeah.
So
Really?
you got to save up for those 2 weeks, and you're
Yeah.
pulling a lot. It's gonna be brutal.
Yeah, the next couple of weeks they do have some big books coming up. So yeah. I'm trying to, contact some shop owners and things like that to say, hey, like I need to know what's going on, what books are coming out, because if not, I'm going to be missing out on almost a month, right? So, but yeah, we'll get to that a little bit later. Let's finish off with Dark Horse here. So we got Avatar: Next Shadow #1. I mean, it's a #1. I don't know anything about this story except the fact
I'm gonna grab it just based on the fact that it's Avatar. I'm gonna grab it and give it a shot. See how it is.
When's that movie released? Is it 2022 still or no?
Who knows anymore?
Yeah, I mean, with lately with how release dates have been getting shuffled, I know at one point weren't both sequels supposed to be released like almost successively, like the Matrix movies?
Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because they were announced like 4 or 5 years ago, so that's kind of why I'm like, all right, what's going on? And actually, I hope Magic Lasso sticks around at the end when we're done this and we start talking about our comic news, because I really want to talk about Wonder Woman. So Lasso, I hope you stick around.
Did you actually see it?
We'll find out.
Okay, all right.
Comic book. All right, so we got that one. We got Colonel Weird Cosmoc. I've got no idea if I even pronounced that right. You guys will let me know either way. Yeah, wow.
Close enough.
Yeah. Are you guys picking this
Well,
up?
again, this is a Jeff. See, I'm not picking it up, but it's the Jeff Lemire series that I guess takes place in the Black Hammer universe that he created in Dark Horse.
Okay.
There's a lot of people that like the Black Hammer stuff. It's pretty popular, so, or at least it was.
Yeah. They got what is it? 2 covers? Yeah. So they got this one too. I mean, they're kind of freaky looking. They're kind of out there.
Yeah, there's a lot of really weird
covers, but I mean, these ones are really out there. Like, I mean, there's no stars. It's just eyeballs and shit. Yeah, this one's a little out there for me. Let's see here. What else we have? We have. I think we've talked about this series in the past.
Yeah. I think Face, you said you're.
We have been.
Yeah,
it's a bit of a different take on just general Norse mythology, and it's got like Neil Gaiman's twist, but it's been pretty good so far. I've liked it.
Before we continue, I just want to acknowledge the chat. Thank you everybody for joining. We got Oregon, FaceTime, of course. We got Louis. We got Ultra, the legend, Edwin, Universe X, Kino, 1-2, Kev, what's going on, man? Lasso, of course, Freaky Louis. Oh man, if you guys want to start your day off really right, check him out. Every Friday he drops. He's like rhyming. He does these rhyming and these songs with his videos. Definitely check it out. Good times. Damn, you keys, George Michael stuck in my head now. Ultra, there are variants and alternate covers hitting the shelves this week. Newbie knows a guy who covered all those. Yeah.
Right.
Reynos, this guy's in my home city actually. So what's up, brother? Sith Lordy, what's going on? Bricks, yes. Sorry's Tiger, what's up, brother? Kid Collector.
Oh yeah, Newbie. I actually have to pause for a second for Kid Collector. You know how you were mentioning how you seldom win anything, like any contest or anything?
Yeah.
So I was actually on Kid Collector's channel with him and Joey Does Comics and Wesley. They have a channel called Power Packs. So they were doing a trivia and actually won one of his prize packs. So shout out to them.
Oh shit!
Yesterday.
Nice. Congratulations.
No, I would have joined.
Awesome.
I would have checked it out. Tag me next time you guys do something like that, man. I'll
they actually come on every Sundays. I believe their normal start time is 6 p.m. Eastern, but yesterday they went at 7 because yeah.
Well,
That's
with the cold weather coming, man, I'll be around my laptop a little bit more.
Yeah, definitely check them out. They're doing good things.
Sure. Mountain Peak.
Right, you ain't gonna have nothing to do.
Yeah. So I appreciate everybody for coming, man. Yeah, so let's get it on. Let's finish off here. So yeah, so Face, you're still on this one then?
Yeah, I've still been picking it up. Like I said, it's been a pretty good read so far. Like Norse mythology and Neil Gaiman's twist to it. You know,
You picking
the
up
art
both
has
covers,
been
all covers?
pretty interesting.
This one's a little fucking freaky.
No, actually, I've just been picking up the Mac covers.
So does it have
It's
almost like
basically a D cover.
does it almost have kind of like a Game of Thrones mythology kind of like that going on, or?
Not so much
No?
Game of Thrones. Well, I mean, it's like fantasy-esque, but like obviously with Norse gods, Thor, Loki, Odin.
Oh, okay, yeah. So that kind of that. Okay, I got you. We got Overwatch Tracer London Cop. Man, what is up with these?
See, the thing is, I'm actually picking this up only because I play a crazy amount of Overwatch. I don't play it as much before, but I was playing a lot of hours of Overwatch. So I picked up issue 1. Haven't read it yet, but yeah, it might be a series I'm just gonna pick up just because I'm just fond of the game. That's all. I want a signed photo of Newbie in the. Yeah, I mean, we might have to age restrict that.
Yo, you know what the funny thing is? My girlfriend's mom ended up buying that for her because she thought it would be cute. Because she thought I was like a DC fan, and like she thinks that like all superheroes are kind of like the same, and I was like, no. So yeah, it was a little whatever, but yeah, I took that picture just to have some fun, and yeah, that can happen actually. I'll do a raffle, so it'll be 1,000 spots, $5 a spot, and
Damn.
I'm just kidding.
You say go big or go home.
Yeah, go check out my Instagram at Newbie Comics if you want to see the picture.
Or he has his own fans only page.
Yeah. So we're gonna finish off here. So yes, we got Overwatch.
Coming.
What's it called? Hyper. Are you picking up both covers?
Canadian.
No, I'm just gonna pick up the regular cover. I'm not going crazy on the variants on this one. I'm just picking up just because.
Newbie likes that black.
I like this one better. I like this one better than the cover A actually, but I won't be picking up. I'm not really a crazy gamer like you guys. We got Resident Alien, Your Ride's Here. This is a series that, me and Face were actually talking about when it first came out, maybe a month ago, Face? Like, it's shocking that we already have issue 3 out. Again, another crazy cover. It's really out there, to be honest with you guys. I think it's dope, but the whole series has been kind of those funky, weird colors thing. Did you guys pick up number 1 or no?
No.
Face?
I did.
Yeah? Did you pick up number 2 as well or no?
No, I don't.
Okay. Yeah, so I don't know if this one's there, and I
missed that one. I didn't even read it. Or covered.
This says right here, January 13th. So what's that all about?
Interesting. And they put it for this week's release?
And they put it for this week. So what? Yeah.
I don't know, maybe it's a glitch. Yeah.
So yeah, that's something to be on the lookout for.
Yeah, that's weird.
I'm gonna take a look at all the dates from all the books that we talk about now moving forward, because maybe there's something wrong, or maybe it's just that book.
Mm-hmm.
But we have something that, not as popular as Walking Dead, but Stranger Things. Stranger Things number 3. It's a crossover.
It says January 6th.
Yeah, this is weird. What's going on here?
Yeah, that's odd. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure why these release dates are all over the place, and they're putting it for new releases.
Yeah.
Yeah. What the hell?
Like, it's this week, so I don't.
Yeah. But yeah, I love the series, but I'm not picking up the comic because I think this is like the second or third comic series from Stranger Things. I know they had one with the summer camp, and then the regular Stranger Things miniseries, and now they're doing like a D&D. So no, I'm not. They're cool covers, and I love the series, but I'm not picking it up. So.
Yeah. So as you guys were talking, I looked at all of the books for Stranger Things, and yeah, they say January 6th. So this is going to be very interesting.
Yeah, that's really weird.
Yeah, this one says January 13th as well. So is there something maybe going on that we don't necessarily know about?
Unless
can't have nice things.
Unless newbie, did you click on like FOC or something?
No, man, I'm new this week.
No. I was just playing because I saw the same things you saw for new releases prior to the show. So yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, this is weird.
I know.
We'll
I
get
didn't notice.
You know, whatever. But we got True Lives, Fabulous, Kill Joke. Man, 2021. I hope that the comics that come out, the titles are shorter, or just have an acronym for the titles.
Why? But you're doing so well with them usually.
No, man, it's a little crazy.
Yeah, no, I hope it get longer. I mean, that's
seriously, I really.
At this point, after 3 words, I just start making shit up. Like I'm just like, Batman, Dark Metal, Annual.
Oh, we might have noticed.
Metal.
I think the gems have come when you seem to have your own interpretation on certain, let's say, properties that we're well aware of.
Just know, guys, I do have merch coming. It's called the Yolanda. What is it? The Yolanda line. So be on the lookout for that early 2021. Okay, that is coming out. Witcher Memories #2. We got cover A here.
So when did this one come?
This one comes out. Okay, so this one comes out this week.
They got one right.
You like that one?
No, I said they got one right in terms of the release date.
So we got this cover right here, and we got cover B, which is in my opinion, I find that this one is the better looking of the two. To be honest,
because of the black. I mean, I know that you're more partial on the black.
No, I don't know. It just speaks to me more, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. But again, not a story that I'm actually reading or on. So.
Again, dope game. Haven't picked up this comic though.
Yeah. Well,
I picked up the first issue just because the shop had the incentive.
No. Or I'm Universe X, I'm just joking, man. There's no newbie gear.
No, he ain't. And, we'll set up a Patreon for this.
There's none. IDW. There's a book here I thought was a little interesting. That is supposedly coming out, but like this is I thought this was the first appearance of that yellow Hulk again.
No, that's issue 10. Issue 10 was the first.
Yeah, that was in issue 10.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I was when I was going through this, I thought it was kind of funny. But do you remember when people were going nuts for that book? Like, are people still going nuts for that book?
It's kind of cooled down a bit. I mean, I think you could probably.
I don't think so.
You mean it's still as high as it? I mean, I don't think it's as high as $20-$30. Is it still? Because I think I saw it for like $10-$15 at one point.
I thought at like the peak it was going for like $30-$40.
Yeah. It was going for that high, but
I'll never forget, man. And honestly, it's nothing against young people. I don't consider myself young. I'm 32, but I don't consider myself young. But there was a younger kid. I'll probably say he was maybe like 16 years old. And I remember being in the shop when that book came out. And the kid was arguing. I want to say it was like his sibling, his cousin. I don't know. He clearly knew this person. But I'll never forget it because the shop is small. I was paying, and he goes, "You don't even know what you're talking about. The Yellow Hulk is going to show up in the next movie." And I just remember just like giving one of the dirtiest looks, like kind of one of those like stuff. Like just, what? But it is what it is, right? I mean, nowadays any character can show up. That's just the reality of it, I guess.
Bro, if the Yellow Hulk shows up in the fucking movies, that kid's gonna look like a genius all of a sudden.
Oh yeah, 100%. And I remember people slept on that book, right? Like, people who do the research, they knew, but like there was a lot of people that slept on it. Kind of Wednesday afternoon, Thursday morning, being like, oh shoot, I didn't know that book was that. So
Listen, the only way Yellow Hulk's gonna show up in the MCU is if Hulk actually contracts malaria. I think that's the only way you're gonna see Yellow Hulk in the MCU.
yeah.
Jaundice.
Jaundice or malaria, take your pick. I think those are the only two ways you're gonna find the Yellow Hulk in the MCU.
Oh man, Free Louis saying Rainbow Hulk. Yeah, you know what? But that's the thing, man. You never know. You never know. Not on the Rainbow Hulk, but I'm just saying you never know. That's why it's always fun to pick up when these crazy things do happen, because even Face and I talked about those Hero for Homes, right? Or Heroes at Home. I think. Yeah. Like they were pretty funny and like, you know, like, oh no, I'm not getting that. But then what does that do? Like it's a niche, right? It's like a small little thing they did, low print run. So like who knows in like 10 years if that's something.
Wait, newbie. You were talking about the Heroes at Home. Did you see the actual book that came out like 2 weeks ago at your comic shop? It was actually solicited on previews for $10. It was called Marvel's Heroes at Home.
No.
Face, I don't know if you saw it, but when you actually look at the book itself in your shop, it's like literally it's like the size of like a coaster.
Really?
And they charge you $10.
Yeah, I saw it.
My shops were pissed off because they ordered a few of those, and I kind of joked, I'm like, hope you guys didn't over order on these, and they're like, yeah, I don't want to talk about it, because Marvel charged them $10 for this book, and it's literally like the size, and it's the size of like a coaster, the actual format.
Jesus Christ, that's insane. I will say, like, I don't think a lot of people are on this storyline anyway, right? I think number 10 was the one that got it going, and then after that, I mean, but okay, number 10 came out in like June.
It felt like it came out, yeah, like almost like
right. So like, what's going on here with this? Because I mean, we're basically at the end of the year.
Yeah, it's probably been on hiatus for a while.
Yeah.
Right. So
I mean, these are just all ages books. They don't really have any bearing on continuity or anything like that. It's just more like something, I guess, for, you know, anyone to just pick up and read a good Marvel story without having to worry about, you know, dangling storylines or anything like that. So,
Hyper, I think
there's books there's
what's that?
There's so much stuff like that right now. I was just looking through the previews catalog for the books that are coming out, you know, in March, and I was looking at the solicitation for Action Comics. I think it's 1029, and it's the second part in story arc. And I was trying to remember. I was like, damn, did I get the first part of that story arc? So I was trying to go back and look and see. And I went back a month and I didn't see it, you know, on any of the lists that I keep, you know, track of what I'm getting and everything like that. And I thought for sure, I was like, I didn't get, you know, I just didn't add it to my pull list for whatever reason. And when I finally looked it up, the fucking book's coming out like in, I think, 2 weeks or something like that. And then the series just stopped completely all the way through Future State, and I forgot about it.
Oh wow! Okay.
But it stops like right after the start of this whole arc, and then just picks up like it never happened.
Damn. Okay. So it's almost like this Future State thing is pretty much. Yeah, I mean, I think it's just gonna put everything on pause, right? More or less.
Oh shoot! Well, Punch, I think I actually said happy birthday to you last week when I found out. If not, I apologize, but happy belated. Speaking on birthdays, I had her on my Women in Comics back in the summer. She's a cool chick in the Bronx or Brooklyn. Miss Sadie. I always butcher it, but she's always got cool content. We talked. She wants to be on the show. She wants to be part of the festivities. Just timing hasn't really worked out. So in the near future, in the new year, we're gonna have her on from time to time. So yeah, happy birthday to you guys. Happy belated, Punch. And speaking of a big punch here, Kanto, one of the popular books, popular series. I mean, this thing is blowing up. Number one, Hyper, you were talking about it because Mr. Keys actually has the number one. These are going like crazy, right? Like this run.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, I kind of find that the second volume is sort of getting slept on. People are focusing more on the first volume.
Yeah.
Just because of the low print run and all that. It's still a good story. I mean, I read volume 1 and I'm still reading volume 2. You know, there are a couple of new characters that's introduced in the beginning of this volume. So, you know, if you're a fan of volume 1, I don't know why you're not picking up volume 2. It has a ton of heart, and I think we're on what issue is this?
4.
So I believe there should be, I think, 1 or 2 more issues in this miniseries before they wrap it up. And I know that there's future plans for this. For this whole Kanto world, so to speak.
Simple Man's is super on it. I think everyone 1-2 Comic Talk has been talking about Kanto for a very long time. Guys, if you haven't checked him out, I'm sure you do, because he talks about some books that you know, if it were me in the situation, like I would come up on these chats and be like, I told you, and then like date stamp some of the stuff. But yeah, he knows this stuff too. Make sure you guys check him out. But Kanto, Reno, you will never believe this. You're in my area, and this is why I kind of want to tell you this story about Kanto. Issue and me were at Sketchbook Comics in St. Catharines. Shout out to the Sketchbook. Shout out to Jeff there. Really solid dude. He picked up Kanto 1 for $5. And it's literally like a 9.4. Like just right out of the bin, it is literally a 9.4. Worst case scenario, it is a 9.2. He picked it up for $5. True story, crazy story. So yeah.
And if you look up the values of
right there.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. But that goes back to, you know, a lot of people are like, oh man, you know, you see people like Manny, you see people like Universe X, you see people like Switchblade, like all these guys that like go to shops and all they, not like they only do, but like, you know, they go through so many back bins and dollar bins and they find stuff and people are like, oh man, that'll never happen to me. It happens. You just gotta.
It happens. You just gotta. The thing is, I mean, don't expect to find a key like staring you right in the face. You're gonna have to obviously do some digging and you know, put a little, you know, elbow grease into it, and yeah, you're bound to catch some gold. And that's kind of like, honestly, when you find those keys, it actually makes that 30, 40 minutes or an hour worth it, I find. When you actually find, sometimes you know, you shoot and you're just getting nothing but blanks, but sometimes you strike gold. So, you know.
But you never want to be the guy that like goes in and doesn't look at everything, and then the next guy comes and he finds like gold. You know what I mean? Like that.
That happens actually. Even like Pacino's in the chat right now. Because we go to the same shop, so sometimes I'll like rummage through the back issues, and then on Telegram or something, he'll post pictures like, yo, I can't believe you actually missed these books. And then he'll show me the books that he picked up like right after I left the shop. So, you know, it's a little friendly competition sometimes among friends to see, you know, what you can find.
Yeah. Me and Keys, me and Keys are the most opposite in what we read, what we collect, what we do, right? Like, you know, we're two different people, and that's fine. That's what I love about this community. We're different people. We're different collectors. We're different investors. We have different, you know, characters. But I know that when we go to shops, we have our own little rules. You know what I mean? Like we have the rules that we live by, you know, quote unquote, when we do go to shops. Like if I find a book he wants, you know, because we do live in that, you know, first, if I see it first, I get first dibs. But at the same time, you know, like kind of a friend am I if I see the book that you want and I take it, right? Like I got a heart. So, you know, that's also happened to Keys, because Keys is, you know, he's done that for me. And that's, you know, that's just one of the rules we have, right? Before we go to a shop, we always say, hey, this is the book that I'm looking for. If you find it, let me know. And you know, that's what it is.
So hold up. Let's just say he happened to, hypothetically, it was a miracle, came across like Iron Man #1 in the bin for $1.
Both legs intact.
And he bought it. Does he get a finder's fee for that, or like how does that work?
I would hook him. Like I would hook him up. You know, I would do something. But you know, we always have those books that when we do go
hook him up. You got a price tag on that book?
No, he's gonna sign that apron photo and hand it off to him.
Oh God. No, but that's what we do, right? And I'm sure like you and Kino and like those of you in the chat, when you guys go with like buddies, one, it's fun. Like I love going with Keys. I love going with anybody who's into comics. It just makes it more fun, even though we're like on the opposite sides. It's always fun because you're giggling like little girls. And you're like, oh my god, I found this. Oh my, like it is fun. But we also respect each other's things that we collect and stuff. So if I come across something I know he's into, I'm gonna grab it and I'm gonna go show him. I'm gonna be like, hey, this is what I found. Do you want it? If he says no, that's it. I only ask once.
I can't relate to this conversation at all. I always go with my girlfriend and then just leave mad because she finds all the good shit.
Well, I mean, you guys live together, so it's not like it's not like it's gonna leave your house.
Yeah.
You're missing the point. You're missing the point, Hyper.
We can't do that. But
yeah, but here's one last tip I want to just mention to you guys, like, because I mentioned, I think I saw someone in the chat saying how they hunt and they kind of pass up on things they don't realize. I would say, look, follow some of these dudes that are on the chat on IG, because sometimes it's all about visual cues. Like guys like UniX, like in the chat right now, and some of the guys that are posting books on IG. When you start seeing these books on your feeds, you're gonna start registering, some of that stuff in memory. So I would say that's another tip.
Yeah, I agree with that, because sometimes, I've been very honest with you guys about Star Wars and things that is not my strong suit, and vice versa, right? Like I know I let Keys into some of the things, in Iron Man and Fantastic Four. I always kind of try to show him visuals and just anybody, but it does help when you are looking out there. You're passing through books, and you might not think it's nothing, but for whatever reason, that cover comes to mind, right? Like
exactly.
Cover, and then you start Googling it. You go on eBay, you see what the book is, and then you find out, oh shoot, okay, this is something cool, right? So,
well, that's what happened with that Mace Windu 5, right? Like I'm like you, I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan, but because I saw that picture posted somewhere, when I came across that in my back issue, I'm like, okay, I know this is something. And then I looked it up. Sure enough, I struck gold. So yeah, man.
Yeah, it stuck with you.
Yo, I've been saying this for not with Spine Ticks, but with Manny. I've been saying that for a long time. Like Universe X, Manny. There's a few others. I always feel bad when I bring out names.
Sure.
I don't want anybody to feel like I'm not paying attention to them or whatever. They're just two that come to mind right off the top. They post some crazy stuff. They pull some crazy stuff. They get crazy stuff. Like it's insane. Oh shoot! Well, thank you. I learned a lot of respect with newbie. Oh, well. Hey, that's what I love about the community. I might not know a lot about something, but somebody else who's in the chat or somebody who I have on the panel knows it, and that's how we all learn, right? You can't just stick to one thing. It's like living in a house, but you never leave your room, right? And eventually, you're gonna have to go to the bathroom. So, just think about it like that.
Interesting analogy. I like that.
Right? All right. So
yeah, that's a hell of an analogy.
I know I'm gonna bring this up, and you guys, poke fun, whatever. But and sometimes, I've brought it up in the past, but some people laugh. But these My Pony, even though they're not the Transformer ones, I mean, people are picking them up. I'm not. I don't think you guys are.
Wait. Hold up. Face. I'm not making a joke out of this, but aren't you picking up My Little Pony?
No, I think it's the Transformer ones.
Transformer My Little Pony.
Not.
Okay.
The Transformer, the Transformers crossover, definitely.
Okay.
Series.
That one Transformers one that was really rare, and I didn't know about it until actually Mel V on Drunken Chat told me about it. But it was going for like $200 or something like that. Like some of them have like some serious money, man. Those crossovers and things like that. So, yeah, leaving. Yeah, that's actually a true story. The Universe X was messaging me some of the books, and he had to go back to pick them up. Yeah, but hey, we all learn from each other, man. I'm glad I can help you out. Who dat? Thanks for joining. I've been on Riri back when it was released. Man, I was talking about Riri Williams, that book that now is like $100. I was talking about it when it was like selling at a 9.8 for like $25.
Which book is this? Is this
it's the solo one. It's the solo one. It's the Invincible Iron Man 1 or whatever.
Okay.
I'm not gonna ruin it for anybody because I kind of want people. I I've talked about this book. I think I've told you guys about this book. Number one isn't the one you really. You know what? We'll talk about this after. But yeah, number one I don't think is the one you really want. But we could talk about that. People can DM me or message me at any time. But yeah, I've been waiting for My Little Pony vs. Aliens. I think somebody else had mentioned.
See, I would buy that one too.
Yeah,
I would buy that one too.
the My Pony section is where I stash books. I'm gonna go pick up.
Smart.
And it has uses.
That's actually like genius, man.
Yeah. Like, I mean, you wouldn't put it in the Venom section, obviously, because that's where most people would go.
Zenworld, what's going on, man? Another one of the great guys in the community. Thank you for joining me. Us, I should say. All right, let's finish this off because I'm really excited to talk about the comic news, the spec talk. We got Star Trek Year 5, number 17. You guys are not on Star Trek.
No.
I know that for a fact. So this is just another pass, I guess.
I do like some of the covers that have been coming out for it. Like I would pick up a couple of covers just on strength of those alone, but
Definitely
haven't been on the series.
Face, I don't know if you remember this. Maybe Hyper does because I think it was a Canadian show. But the bottom with the cats. At first, I started going left to right, and I thought it was going to be like an Animorphs.
Animorphs.
Animorph. Yeah, you remember?
Yeah, that was on. I think that was on YTV. I don't know if that was a Canadian show or not, but yeah, I remember the books.
Yeah, and that's the first thing I like. My eyes went to the cat. I'm like, oh, it's just a cat. It's not transforming into anything. Yeah, so it's gonna be crazy. I don't think I'm picking that up. We got Transformers Escape number 1, short miniseries. Face, you're probably all over this, correct?
Yeah, definitely picking that up. I think it's just them leaving Cybertron heading for Earth, if I understand the premise correctly, and that's about where it's at in the main series too. So
main series.
I'm guessing there's probably incentives for this.
Yeah. Well, it's showing 2 covers here, but
what's that?
It's showing 2 covers here, but I'm assuming you're gonna get like a few.
Yeah, usually those IDWs, at least the
there's
first
definitely.
Yeah. This cover, honestly, to be honest, is not the greatest cover, but it does the job. The other series that's going on with Transformers is Transformers Galaxy number 12. Again, 2 covers, not 2 copies. Yeah, some serious art there, some serious Transformers shit going on there.
Yeah, that actually that cover, I hate that cover because they used like the same color in the background as one of the primary colors on.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you can't tell what's going on there.
Yeah, it's definitely not distinct. You're right. Yeah,
it doesn't stand out. Guys, just some free knowledge there. Ultra Maximus is saying I'm after the Escapes number 1, of course. He knows his stuff. He knows good stories. He knows things. So yeah, this is a title I always butcher. I don't think I can ever say this one right.
You still got time. We're 2020 not done yet.
Usagi Yojimbo.
Yeah, you got it.
That's actually pretty close.
All right. Yeah. 2 weeks ago, this cover came out. It had that variant. It was that pink variant. People were
no. That's the regular Usagi.
That's the main series. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is a mini series, Wanderer's Road.
Okay. So my mistake.
But the first issue the first issue to Wanderer's Road did have a variant cover that was going pretty high too on the Momoko cover.
So number 2. And that's it for that. We're going to jump into Marvel. Now, guys, we're going to be paying close attention to the dates because some of the books might not actually be coming out this week. It says that they're coming out this week. However, some of the books we've passed are kind of all over the place with January 6th and January 13th as the release date. So we're going to hopefully pay attention. Amazing Spider-Man number 55.
Yeah, that's the variant, though.
So, yeah, this is going to probably be one of the bigger books this week because of the main cover, which is not that one. But that's actually a really nice Delato cover, too. I'm picking it up also.
Yeah, you normally don't see a lot of Delato. Normally, Delato Spider-Man covers are usually a store exclusive lately. So when you see one that's a regular price, it might not be a bad idea to grab for your
Right,
PC.
definitely. And then of course this is the cover that. Yeah, this is the cover that's gonna be, everybody's gonna be trying to get a hold of. There's actually another cover for it that's like a Lego or a Funko cover or some shit too that I'm grabbing.
And I believe they actually released a Virgin variant of the same cover as a store exclusive. I think that's limited to like 2,500 copies for this same one.
I think so.
I like this cover, man. I really do. Shoot,
it's a pretty dope. I think I'm actually picking up at least 2 of these. Because the thing is with these kind of covers, also because it's all black, it's easy to get those dings. So I'm hoping to at least get at least one nice clean copy. And I'm picking up this 1 in 10 PS5 variant.
Yeah, I think this is the one. Yeah, 1-2's talking about it. Universe X. I think he's talking about the main cover, but yeah, anything Miles is obviously hot. Insert Zoolander right there.
And it's the final one. It's the final one of the Miles cover series. So if you're picking up all those 1 in 10s, might as well pick this one to round out the set.
Yeah, but that black one, I mean, this black one right here, I mean, I love this cover, man. I really like that.
Yeah, it's gonna be the big one this week. I mean, everybody's gonna be after that cover.
Yeah.
And it's probably gonna be one that's gonna be hard to find in 9.8 condition.
Yeah, and that's the thing, Hyper, you kind of touched on it, like it's black, it's so easy. Obviously, you guys in the chat know black, white, they're so easy to mess up that, make sure just because there might be a few copies of it, especially if you're on the flipping side, grading and sending it to CGC right away. I mean, make sure you do look at it thoroughly. Like I've always said, and maybe it's on repeat, but black and white covers to me in 9.8s, 9.6s, they're super cool. They're trophies to me. And
especially Marvel ones, because the thing is, others, like if it was in any other publisher, I'd have a bit more faith in these kind of covers. But there was actually, and funny enough, it was an ASM cover that was a black cover. My hands were completely clean. I just put my finger on it. There was a fingerprint on the cover that I can't get rid of. Because the quality of the printing is pretty crap. It's something, I think same thing happened to someone when they ordered the Silver Surfer Black.
Do you know?
Yeah.
Like how long ago was that?
Which one? The Spider-Man one?
Yeah, the one that got the fingerprint on it.
That was issue. It was the one where it was
I'm just trying to remember what cover it is.
It was definitely right before the Sin Eater storyline. It was it's when him and Boomerang were, that storyline where he had a pet. What the hell? It starts with an M. Magog or something like that.
Magog.
That's a Superman villain.
No.
Well, Kingdom Come.
It's this brown furry little pet that Spider-Man and Boomerang were taking care of in their apartment.
Okay. I remember what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember. I don't remember the name.
It was around that those issue numbers, but
okay, I got you. I'll have to look it up.
Yeah.
Face,
I think you are still reading Avengers, the run. We got Avengers 38 second print.
Yeah, I'm not picking that up. I don't care about the second print of that.
Yeah, it's getting down to, that's something that happens on a weekly basis now. We get these second and third prints. Thank God we're not getting.
Yeah, I'm not sure why they're doing second print of it, but whatever, I guess.
Yeah, like was anything important in that storyline? I can't remember on why it would be getting a second print.
Lately, it seems like a lot of these.
I mean, it was the end of.
What was that, Face?
Yeah, the end of the Age of Khonshu arc or whatever. It was the end of the Age of Khonshu arc, I believe. But it wasn't like super groundbreaking or anything. Like, I don't.
Yeah, some of the books that they give out, with like the second and third prints, like sometimes when I do see them, I'm like, okay, wait, was the book like did anything important happen? Was there anything?
Yeah, like, did I miss some shit?
Like, doing it for the sake of doing it, I guess. I don't know.
No, I think honestly it might have been just a case where some issues were just under ordered and nothing big happens. It just, they end up, I guess, getting more reorders than they anticipated. I don't think it would have been any spec related incident.
Yeah, I just wonder, are they going to be able to sell those second prints? Because like anybody cared about it, but
who knows? Sticking with Avengers, we got Avengers number 40. Enter the Phoenix. I'm assuming this has that tie-in Phoenix story. Obviously.
Yeah, it looks like there's going to be a tournament or some shit to find a new host of the Phoenix that is not going to be Jean Grey, apparently.
Right, yeah.
Who are they going to get, I wonder?
Well, I mean, Phoenix is kind of salty about being replaced in the relationship by Wolverine, so
yeah,
it's always worrisome with her.
I will say if you had a choice of covers, I would probably go with cover B. This kind of has that old school Captain America. I don't know if it's Captain America or Tales of Suspense. I'll have to re-look at the book, but it's just got that vibe. I mean, you got Captain America, you got Black Panther, Iron Man, She-Hulk looks like.
Man, She-Hulk's abs look like a xenomorph.
You know what it is, Iron.
Yeah. When I saw this, I was like, first of all, I had to like rethink, like, okay, is it She-Hulk? Because I've never seen like it almost looks like the Mortal Kombat character in green.
Kantaro, I think.
Yeah, with all the arms, except like that's what it looks like to me. It doesn't look like She-Hulk. It looks
Goro's counterpart, Kantaro.
Yeah. So it was kind of interesting.
She-Hulk gonna come whoop your ass.
Come find me.
I kind of find She-Hulk is a bit of a tricky character to draw because like how they want to make her look feminine, but you also want to get that masculinity. So then I've seen so many variations of She-Hulk. Like they make it look too feminine, and then they make her look too masculine.
Yeah.
Like
no. I mean, I agree. I just don't think you're not gonna get anybody happy regardless of what way you go. I guess you know what I mean. Like it's just something.
Well, like I mean, the version that Joe Bennett draws in the Immortal Hulk, he goes more on that whole masculine side, and then if you look at John Byrne and those covers, it's a lot more feminine. But it's interesting how she's drawn.
This, and I was gonna try to lead, kind of get everybody's juices going and pump this book up. Give it that dramatic pause for everything like that. But Captain Marvel 23, if you guys remember, I have 2 copies of cover A. This was the first appearance of Namor's son and also the first cover appearance. But now we have Captain Marvel 23 second print, and he is basically on the cover by himself. This from not an investment side, because I don't think I'm an investor or anything like that. But if you're like trying to flip the book, I mean, I don't think it'd be a bad idea to pick this one up and have that cover A, because I mean, you have the character solo right there. Cover A, he's sharing the spotlight. His face is kind of like, I believe it's like red or something like that. Here you kind of get the whole character. Boom, this is what he looks like. That's him right there.
Well, I mean, yeah, I think cover.
That's interior art, isn't it?
It is interior, and the thing is, the second print of issue 22 actually had him on the cover as a design variant, I believe. But like, yeah, you're right. He wasn't solo. He actually, I think, shared that cover with 2 other of those new characters.
And I think he was on. Wasn't he on the B cover or something like that?
No, I thought it was A cover.
It was the A cover.
There was one where it was like him and Captain Marvel. Maybe it was okay. Yeah, him and Captain Marvel coming at each other. So he's been on cover before.
Yeah. So I mean,
yeah, so he's been on covers.
I think the important thing in this one is the fact that he's by himself. It's like, okay, you get from head to toe. This is what he looks like. This is who he is. Boom, here he is. Right. So,
it's almost like at a certain point, where do you draw the line? Okay, so yeah.
So I wonder how that works. They
What's that face?
But my question is this: how does this work with this cover? Because and the previous covers that Marvel's done this with, just because I'm curious. So you have a cover artist come in to do a cover for a comic book, and they get paid, correct?
Yes.
So does the interior artist get paid?
No. Actually,
for the cover of this?
No. Because this is actually why Marvel either uses recolored versions of the same cover, like you know how
So they
DC
can make more money.
or they use the interior because those artists have already been paid. That's actually a reason why you don't see a lot of original art for a second prints, because you're gonna have to pay a new commission for those artists, right? When you're reusing the same cover, yeah, when you're already reusing a cover that's already been paid for, it's kind of like a one way for Marvel to save money on that. So
Right. Exactly.
Hyper, I think I can't predict the future, but I'm guaranteeing you will be picking this book up.
yes, Champions. I mean, I'm kind of I don't want to say I'm all in on Champions because I'm not like ordering like 10 copies of them, but I am picking up the later prints of these issues when they come.
Yeah. If you guys note, and you guys can't see, there is none other than Mr. Sam Alexander right on the cover, almost saying, hey, you guys are all talking about everybody else but me, which we'll probably get into that a little bit later, if not today in the future show. But, I just thought it was kind of funny. Hyper, because we've been talking about this character for a while. And then right behind him, we have our girl, Riri Williams. So, yeah, I personally love – I'm not going to say love. I personally like this cover. You kind of got everybody.
So hold up. This interior art?
This, I believe.
I don't remember.
I believe it is interior art, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks vaguely familiar. So
I'm going to say this before I answer one of the questions from Chili Monger. And actually, Hyper Chili is from Canada, too. He's more so around my way.
Wait, did you call him Chili Monger?
Yeah.
Chillmonger.
Chillmonger. Sorry.
Bro. Sorry. Newbie just turned you into a dish.
No, listen, hold on. And Face knows this because I rushed from work to get on here, and I was like kind of eating. I'm just in food mode. But
He's hungry, that's all.
Yeah.
Have a Snickers, bro. Fuck up names when you're hungry.
Oh shoot. Where was I going with this?
The
seed that I was gonna plant is okay.
To the restaurant, apparently.
If you look at this cover, okay, we got Camila, we got Miles, we got Riri, and then we got Sam Alexander. Just keep that in mind when you're going about, when you're thinking about all this Disney stuff that's coming out, when you're thinking about what people are talking about, just keep that picture in mind. 3 out of the 4 are talked about too much.
Yeah.
One of them is not. So, that's a little riddle, that's a little seed I'll plant in your guys' head just for future stuff. All right. And then we have, and I was going to answer his question. I was going to answer his question. So, do you think that Namor's son's first appearance means anything?
I mean,
it's not bad book. You know what I mean? Like, see.
But the thing is, you've also seen a lot of offsprings lately from different Marvel characters. So, I mean, Wolverine had a daughter. Another daughter actually, almost like a year and a half ago, and Thor had a daughter also in the same issue of Captain Marvel. So it's kind of hard to tell with all these offsprings that are shooting out of all these superheroes if they'll mean anything. I mean, I would look.
Being in a different timeline or alternate reality means nothing in comics.
Exactly.
It's like the new Death in comics. It just means nothing anymore.
Yeah.
Because eventually they'll find a way to cross over.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah. I mean, my thing is like the way I kind of go about it is I'll grab at least one for cover and I'll stash it. So to kind of just I'm not gonna go heavy on these things just because I don't have enough faith, and there's not enough proof of concept for me to make me think that they're going all the way with these characters. But it's just more of to kind of quell that whole FOMO thing. I might just grab one to just.
Speaking of champions, because
nice.
Champions is something that like a lot of people in the chat, I really believe in. I think there are some books, more important books to pick up in the Champions run than others. Yeah. But I want to, I kind of want to give you guys. I want to ask because I just kind of want to get everybody's opinion. Because the community does really determine which books are what. But you have the Green Lantern, that drug abuse cover, super popular. It's not popular, but super iconic, right? Got that niche market. It's iconic for that. It's the drug issue. Then you have the Demon in a Bottle. It is the iconic alcohol abuse cover. There is, and I think it speaks to, and I'm not trying to bring it down. We're talking comics. We're having a lot of fun. But Champions actually has a controversial school shooting issue.
Yeah. It's the one with Miles on the front, right? Of the cover.
It's red. Yeah. And I actually came across it in one of my shops, and the guy wanted like $2. And I was thinking to myself, I'm like, I don't know. Like, I was kind of torn. I'm like, okay, do I really, like, can you see it kind of being with those other two?
Well, I mean, it's funny you should mention Miles because if you remember, I mean, we try to keep this show light and all that, but remember when the whole police, violence and all that was happening during the controversy? Some of those Miles books popped off because of that, with the handcuffs cover.
Oh, yeah.
And then him being put down by, so, I mean, it could, the issue that you spoke of could possibly pop up because it is touching on a very sensitive topic. We have seen those kind of issues, have some spike in the secondary. But, I mean, if you find it for $2, it's not a bad idea to pick it up, I would think.
It's possible. I think the difference between like Demon in a Bottle and the drug abuse storyline for Green Arrow, whatnot, it was they tend to be more like they were more character defining, whereas
right.
like the school shooting issue for Champions was it was controversial because of the event that happened, but like it didn't really seem to do much as far as the characters themselves. Like there wasn't any changes or anything like that.
Raider Bear, I'll
so it's tough to say.
I think I know what issue it is, but while we're talking, I'll send it to Newbie.
Yeah, send it to me, or if you want to just put it in the chat. But yeah, it's just one of those covers you never know, right? It is what it is. C3 Comics. I actually picked up in the dollar bin this summer the first appearance of the new Champions team. I picked up 2 covers for $2, $1 a piece. It was really crazy. Unreal. Champions and Strange Academy is perfect spec for possible future Disney shows. Zen 100%. And Zen was actually hyper. This is what I was actually talking about. Zen World. He changed it to Zen Multiverse, but he actually on one of my auctions sold Strange Academy 1 at like the beginning of the summer.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, I think it was a 9.8 or 9.6. I can't remember.
And that was around the time when that issue was starting to go up in value, right? Like during the summertime, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Huge. All right. So let's finish off here. So we can get into DC, our comic news, and our spec. But we have Ghost Rider: Return of Vengeance #1. We got about 4 copies coming out. I mean, I'm probably not going to read this one. Ghost Rider's not really my thing. You guys picking it up?
I mean, this is just a one. It's just a one-off, right, Face? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, as far as I'm pretty sure it's just a one-shot. I'm gonna grab it just because it's the Return of Vengeance, so hopefully it'll be cool.
It's the #1. You never know. There could be some weird, wacky first appearance. Like I said, there's 4 covers. There's probably more covers, but there's only 4 that they're actually showing.
Oh, by the way, Newbie, I just sent you the pic on the chat. So
Raider Bear, I'll actually send it to you, okay, brother? And I'll actually post it. I'll bring it up when we're done our new comic book day. People are sleeping on Strange Academy.
Are they still sleeping on it? I kind of find that people like.
It's pretty popular.
I think people know that it's what it is now. I think a lot of us or a lot of people are kicking themselves, being like, "Damn, why didn't I pick it up?"
I being one of them. I mean, I picked up just one, but like the thing is, the signs were all there that I should have at least picked up at least a second one. But whatever.
All the signs were there for me to pick up that stack of Thor 5, and I didn't. We all have that one book that we missed.
Yeah, well, it's funny because
It's your book. That's all.
yeah, and people are dumping that Thor 5 after what transpired in issue 6, and I told those people like, dude, you guys are not overselling, but you guys are jumping off the boat too quick.
Yeah. In one of the
that was really abrupt.
in one of the non-cool ways I've ever seen Iron Man. If you guys remember the old Power Rangers, the original Power Rangers, they had Lord Zed. If you look at Iron Man's body, it kind of resembles that. It's not actually like armor or anything.
It actually looks like someone cosplaying as Iron Man more than Iron Man himself.
Yeah, especially with like the eyes too. Like you can see like the skin. Like you can't really see like the white or anything like that. So I just thought that was.
Dude, even Doctor Doom isn't looking all that great. I mean,
No.
I didn't really know.
So you're not picking this up then?
No, I'm not picking it up.
I mean, I'm gonna pick it up just because it's a stupid concept, and for that reason, I'm just gonna pick it up.
Yeah.
Don't forget, you had Santa Claus.
This is it's Iron Man and Doctor Doom
and
fighting Santa Claus.
And Santa Claus.
A nullified Santa Claus.
Well, read that premise. They're fighting Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I say no, but if it's at the shop, if my shop's open, maybe. You never know. But it is what it is.
But I can't help but feel that the release date on this should have been earlier to coincide with the holidays. Like, I don't know why this book came out like a week after Christmas.
Yeah. You do have another cover right here. We got this is
maybe push back.
This one looks dope. I will say Iron Man looks pretty dope, except for like his head armor there. Like, I mean, minus that, that's my only issue with it. But other than that,
my only thing is, I'm gonna go for cover A because you actually have Santa and his sled on there. It just makes that cover.
Yeah, I want Santa.
Yeah, it makes it more ridiculous when you have that sled. So I'm picking up cover A for that one.
Speaking of Namor, we were talking about Namor just a few minutes ago. We got King in Black, Namor #2. You got a whole whack of stuff going on here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I actually I'm picking up this tie-in just because of the what was it, the Black Tide characters that are they're talking about in it. I'm not sure how they're gonna play into the whole King in Black thing, but apparently they're gonna have some stuff. So I'm just kind of interested in their backstory, and that's what you get with this series. I guess the first appearance will be at some point in this also, or whatever. So,
is anybody on Power Pack?
You know what? I picked up the
collector, maybe.
I'm only picking this up because it's part of the whole outlawed. What do you call it? The outlawed storyline.
Yeah.
So I picked up issue 1, so I might pick up this one also just to kind of continue with that.
I mean,
I have the first issue, but I haven't. I don't know if I'm gonna pick up the second one. I haven't read it, so.
Here's the thing, and I don't know anything about this story. I haven't read #1. I didn't pick it up. But here's the thing: sometimes issue number 2 have a strange way of introducing you to first appearances and things like that.
It happens, yeah.
Something in the citation here is, but not if they have a mentor. Then it's totally fine. So now all the pack need is an adult willing to let them do whatever they want. Does that mean maybe their mentor is announced? This is more of a question. I don't know because I didn't really pick up issue 1, so I don't know. But maybe the mentor, if not already, if he hasn't or she hasn't already appeared in 1, maybe it appears in 2. What do you think?
Oof.
Yeah. That would make sense. But I thought there was I read somewhere that there was a solicitation that the appearance did come in issue, but I could be incorrect on that. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Then, 3 might be 2 and 3 might be the ones to be on the lookout for. And if that's the case, you heard it here on Newbie's channel.
And it's only a 5-issue miniseries, so
yeah. So and when it's like that, I mean, you usually get the characters right up front, like, hey, boom, this is what we got. Are you reading? Shang-Chi.
This one I'm picking up just because I like what the. Yeah, but I like what they're doing with the second prints for this series only because the first issue one second print had the same kind of theme where all the weapons are pointing at Shang-Chi's sister. The name escapes me. I think it's Face. Help me out. Is it Lady Dagger? What is it? Sister Dagger or something?
Sister.
Yeah, I think it's Sister Dagger.
Sister Dagger or something like that. Yeah. So same concept where all the weapons are pointing at her and she's front and center solo. So then now we have the second character. So my thought is they're probably going to do all these late printings with each character spotlighted like that. So I kind of like it when they do like these kind of cool themes. You know. So yeah, I'll probably pick this one up. Actually, I think I already have this pre-order.
That makes
sense.
There's a nullified cover as well. There's probably a few other ones. You're kind of getting the same vibe with these nullified ones. Something or nothing, but we got Venom 29 second print. We got a whole pack of characters here too.
I was totally off. It's Sister Hammer.
Oh, Sister Hammer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bricks
was saying it. Yeah. Bricks just saved you there.
Sister Hammer. There it is.
This cover looks like like a Where's
There is
Waldo?
a dagger, I think, in it.
How many? Okay. Sorry, Hyper. What were you saying? Sorry.
No, I'm saying this cover looks like one of those Where's Waldo murals where you kind of have to figure out where Waldo is in this picture.
But see, here's the thing with these ones is, I mean, obviously we know
be in there.
How the story ends, but like usually in covers like this, it's kind of one of those that like, oh, okay, maybe there's like something hidden in the background that we don't know. Maybe there's a character.
Right, yeah.
But I mean, obviously we all know how this story ends. I'm not on the Venom run anymore. I don't think you guys are either, correct?
No, I'm still on the Venom run.
Oh, yeah?
I mean, the thing is, I was a Venom fan even before Cates was writing it. So, I mean, I was going to be picking up Venom regardless of Spec or not. Yeah. So, Kate I found Kate just added new life to it, that's all. But I mean, yeah, Venom's always going to be on my pull.
Okay. All right. We got Werewolf by Night. Number 3 of 4, which means it's 75% done, guys.
And don't forget, this is actually written by Taboo from Black Eyed Peas.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So, fun fact.
Staying with some big beast.
I think I picked up the first issue, but that's it.
So I gotta ask you guys, who is this character that Wolverine is fighting here?
Maverick, and this is a character that I actually hope comes back to the Marvel comics because he's actually a pretty fascinating character. He was actually created during the Jim Lee era of X-Men. I believe he came on the issue right after the Omega Red issue because Omega Red was introduced. I believe it was issue 3, right, of X-Men. Of Jim, yeah. So then Maverick must have arrived.
Well, yeah. You're talking about Omega Red? He's number 4.
Omega Red's number 4?
Yeah.
Yeah, 4, right?
So then Maverick
was there a cameo in 3? I don't remember.
I don't remember. 5 is also the second appearance of Omega Red, and it's that which I believe is the better cover of
yeah. So 5 is the first appearance of Maverick. So yeah, he's another character. He's from the Weapon X program from the 90s. He has a very complicated history where he has a bit of he played both villain and hero. He was actually portrayed in that Wolverine, that god awful Wolverine Origins movie that happened in 2 decades. He was remember that Asian dude?
You didn't enjoy that movie?
It was fine except for those god awful CGIs that they're doing, especially with with Deadpool. That kind of killed it for me. But remember that
Agent Zero.
Agent Zero. That's actually supposed to be Maverick. So they kind of reformed him. Yeah.
Yeah. Finishing off Marvel before we get into the DC stuff, but we got X-Men 16. We got 2 covers. We got our boy Cyclops. I think it's Cyclops.
Yeah, man, Cyclops looks like he has to, release a nice fort or something. It's like,
Listen, I've never been a fan of Cyclops. It's
Thanks
nothing
for pointing
personal.
that out.
But I've never been a Cyclops fan. I know I offended somebody in the summer when I said, "Nah, Cyclops is stupid." He like wanted to argue with me for like half hour when I was already, man. If it's your character, cool. I'm over it.
it's funny. It's funny because when I was growing up, Cyclops was actually my favorite X-Men. I mean, things have kind of changed a bit, but no, only because I kind of felt bad for him because, especially when I watched the animated series, how Wolverine always feels like Wolverine never took him seriously and he always put him down. So I'm like, dude, like, give Cyclops a break.
Well, that's because Wolverine never took him serious. Always put him down.
Yeah, I know, but it's almost like, okay, like Wolverine's just salty because Cyclops got Jean Grey and all that, and then it ain't Cyclops' fault, you know.
Yeah. And finally, the last book. We're going into Dynamite. The Boys, Dear Becky, number 8.
I like that cover because it's an homage to the first ever issue of Boys 1. That whole bottle.
Yeah.
Like, cover in the bottle, yeah.
That book, I just saw somebody was selling it. I think it had reached like 400, somewhere around there.
At a 9.8, you mean, right?
Yeah, 9.8.
Yeah. Because raw copies, I know they were selling well over $100 at this point.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So let me get into the League of Comics, and then we can get into our comic news and comic spec.
Wait. Newbie.
Oh, come on.
The comics and others. Is there anything that we missed in comics and others? Probably from Vault or something.
All right, let's see.
Yeah, well, we could do a quick skim.
Bad Mother, Bad Reception.
I'm gonna be honest. I got like nothing.
I got nothing either, but I just wanted to see if something just quickly catches. Nothing.
Entity.
Engine Ward. I know that people are kind of. Weren't you reading that face, Engine Ward?
Yeah, I mean, yep, I am picking it up. I don't necessarily know that it's anything super popular for everyone, but I've liked it.
Oh! We gotta talk about this one. I Walk with Monsters.
Yeah, as soon as I saw it, I was like, "Oh,
wow, yeah."
A great first issue. I'm already hooked, and this is definitely on the pull, so I'm picking up the issue.
Dope cover too, man. I love this cover.
Yeah, it deals with a very mature subject matter. Yeah, the thing is, I can't really say much without spoiling it, but yeah, it's definitely I'm interested where this is going.
So we got that one. What else do we got? Oh,
Kaiju Squad. That's another one that read issue 1. I'm liking the premise. It's an interesting concept where it's almost like a heist. It feels like a heist movie in comics.
Yeah. Listen, I only got that book because of what you told me, and then I found out it was optioned for a show. I think Sony or something.
Sony. I don't know if anything concrete, but apparently it's something about Sony has kind of got the rights or option for this series. So I just picked it up and I read it and I enjoyed the premise. So yeah,
it's one of those books that is perfect to put in that box that you're not going to open for 5 years, and then if it scores, hey, you got.
No pun intended. Yeah.
Right. Sure.
So we got that one.
Oh, and then the second print of Phantom Starkiller. The first print kind of caught a lot of buzz, so now you got the second print with the purple cover.
Yeah.
Which is pretty dope.
Yeah.
Wasted Space. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. All right, so we're going to finish off with DC before we get into our comic news and spec talk. DC. Wow. All right. Well, we got Batman Annual 5. Face here, it's showing December 29th, obviously being this week.
Yeah, because I know in Backstage Face you were mentioning how you said that your shop got this like a week before, you were saying?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I'm actually looking right now for it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they had Batman Annual 5, the Dark Knight's Metal, Tales from the Multiverse, and the Dark Knight's Death Metal, Last 52, War of the Multiverse, they had at least all of those, and they might have even had the Justice League Endless Winter. I can't remember.
And that's weird because they all have tomorrow or this week.
And I think I picked all of them up.
Yeah.
So weird.
Right,
Wow.
Exactly.
But do you know what the solicitation is on this annual? Like, what are they going to dive into the origin of Clown Hunter?
Yeah, Clown Hunter's origin story.
Okay. So yeah, definitely would not be a bad idea to pick it up, especially if you're going in on Clown Hunter as a character.
Yeah. So maybe Face, you can talk a little bit more about what these issues you have.
The Tales from the Dark Multiverse, Dark Knight's Metal, pretty much ends that little run of Tales from the Multiverse or Dark Multiverse that they're gonna do. Like at the end of it, it pretty much finalizes it. So
it's not bad. And then what about Dark Knight's Death Metal, The Last 52, War of the Multiverse #1, Dark Knight, Tale of Batman, possibly an annual, way too many characters, Last Multiverse of
I'm telling you, man, one of these days you're gonna get an asthma attack just reading one of these titles.
Like what's going on with that?
To be honest, I actually don't really remember what happens in the issue. I did read it. It just pretty much ends like the same place that we already were. Wonder Woman's getting ready to tee off with, the Darkest Night or whatever the fuck we're calling them now.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now we're finally down to the last book of DC, and I hope Lasso's still in here. I hope I don't disappoint in keeping you here, man. But we got the Justice League, obviously, Endless Winter #2, Endless Winter being their big thing, their big event. Face, I mean, if you have the books, you can probably speak on it more so than us. What's going on there? Face?
Yeah, I don't remember. If I did read it, I don't fucking remember. It's Endless Winter. Who cares?
Yeah. This is
Endless Winter. I'm sorry, I keep cutting in and out, I think.
Right?
What's that?
Like, wasn't Endless Winter the thing that they were kind of like banking on, though? Like, this was like their big.
I don't know if they were banking on it.
I think it's just kind of like a filler type event.
Okay.
What's funny is the Teen Titans Endless Winter issue is catching a bit of buzz on the secondary market because of that. What is the appearance of the Black King? I believe. Was it the Ice King or the Black King face?
No, there's a teen character named Black Ice.
Black Ice, yeah.
Black Ice. That's actually a horrible beer made here in Canada that sold really regularly when I was a kid because it was so cheap. So yeah, Black Ice.
Because I think that's a character that they're saying is supposed to come into the future state also.
I don't think they have much relation.
Yeah, Bricks is saying it's a filler event too. Endless Winter is pretty okay. I'm feeling the Black Adam.
Yeah, I think the only issue of this whole Endless Winter that I picked up was that Boss Logic Black Adam, just because A, I'm a fan of Black Adam, and B, I like Boss Logic's work, so it kind of both were in the same.
Which I think you can't really go wrong with the whole Black Adam. I think Black Adam is going to have its day. Obviously, he's coming. We know he's coming.
Oh, for sure. And the thing is,
I don't want anybody destroying me here. And when I say that, but what I mean is anything that Black Adam has, in the sense of like whatever cover he shows up on, whatever story, I think is going to be very popular. Is going to be picked up a lot just because of the fact it's going to be The Rock. It's going to be very marketable. They're going to make it very popular. He's going to be everywhere. So I think anything that has to do with him and that character, I think it's got a future. So a lot of the books are going to be worth a pretty penny, I would say.
Well, also you kind of have to think about it as oversaturation because like the character that's opposite of that is like Venom. Venom is almost like in every cover lately, even in series that he's not in. So it's getting to the point, and I mentioned this several times before, where you kind of get to the point of Venom fatigue, right? Where I'm a fan of Venom. He's like one of my top characters, but even I know that like you could overdo a character in terms of like, really putting him out there too much. Whereas Black Adam, you don't really, like you mentioned, you don't see a lot of Black Adam covers out there.
No.
So, and I'm a fan, and so I'm picking up covers that, especially where he's spotlighted like solely on the cover.
Yeah.
I usually just pick those up for my PC because
And and something that a lot of people, because I've been asked in the past with certain characters, like, what does it mean? And I usually bring up Two-Face, Red Tornado, things like this. Some people new to the community and new to our hobby are like, hey, what does it mean when it's first appearance of this, but it's first appearance in Silver Age?
Right, yeah.
Exactly what it means. So I bring that up because the Black Adam, I mean, a lot of people are talking about like the newer-ish, I forget what the book is, but the newer of the two, where Black Adam is like, I think if I'm not mistaken, he shows up for the first time in like
in the Golden Age. He's in the Golden Age for the first time.
1940, something like that. The book was always, I think the book is like $2,000 or something like that. Probably.
I'm looking it up right now.
I think it's probably obviously going to go up in price once Dwayne Johnson, does the role in the movie as a success. But I don't know if you can consider it the Silver Age. I don't know when that other book is, but a lot of people are picking that book up.
Yeah, that was in the Shazam series.
Yeah, the Shazam one. Yeah.
Yeah, so the thing is, his first appearance was actually in Flash Comics 1, which was back in 1940, January.
Not bad. I said 40. So, yeah, but that's the one you want, and it's going for like $2,000, I think.
Yeah, hold up. No, sorry. His first appearance is in Marvel Family 1. My bad. And his actual Silver Age appearance was in Shazam 28.
Okay, that makes more sense. I was confused there for a second. I was like, really? Flash? What the hell?
Yeah.
But here's the thing. It's going to probably come down to this. It's probably going to come down to what we see with Iron Man, what we see with Moon Knight, what we see with all these characters. Okay, we can't get that one, so what are we going to do? We're going to get the other one. So I think that Captain Marvel 28 is probably going to have legs because that other one is going to be so far out of reach for price. You know what I mean? Like, think about Moon Knight. Think about Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
Tales of Suspense 39 is almost like a $8,000 book in a 3 to 4.0. Okay, so what's the next best thing? Iron Man 1, but you're still paying $800, right? So
yeah, it's the same way like with the
Nobody's paying 50.
like, but at least Iron Man 1 is still affordable. Like people like AF-15 is out of people's price range, and even ASM-1, even at a low grade, you're still looking at a very hefty price, like a 1.0. So yeah,
look, if you can afford him, hey, great, man. I live under this umbrella, like, I work 2 jobs. I'm good with my money. I have it. I don't know if I could ever pull the trigger on something crazy like that. You know what I mean? Like,
that's I think we had this conversation, right? Like
it's crazy to me, man.
Because the thing is,
I would have to consciously save up quite a while.
Yeah, not just save up, right? Let's say you flip enough books to, let's say, like in my case, like, right, one of my grails is Hulk 181, which is like the grade that I'm going for. Like a mid grade is probably around $3-4 grand. So let's say I flip my books, right, and then I have $3-4 grand sitting on me. Like at that point, because I've never spent nearly that much on a comic, but at that point, when I have that money in my hand, even if it's not my own, let's say I flip it for profit, that question comes to me. It's like, okay, will I use that on the book, or will I put it to something else? You know what I mean? You kind of have that internal struggle. At least I do.
Chillmonger.
You better buy that. You better buy that book quick.
The age we're in now is purple. We're in the purple age.
Purple age.
I don't know. That's like the first color.
What is the purple age?
That's the first color that came to mind. I think it was because I was looking at bricks, but I don't even know. That's the thing, right? Like what? No one's come out and say, hey, just so you know, like we live in, and that's why sometimes I get frustrated with some people because, okay, hey, collect whatever way you want. Like I don't really collect DC. I don't really collect Star Wars, right? My choice.
You thought you were actually serious, by the way.
Oh shoot! No, man, no. I was just joking. I think it's one of those things. The age of Aquarius. I think it's one of those things, though. Like you hear a lot of people saying, "Oh, I don't collect modern. Why bother modern? Why bother modern?" And especially with those like older guys, those guys that are in their 40s and 50s, right? And I think we had one of those guys about 2 weeks ago when we did our like keep
I think we did.
whatever.
Yeah.
And we were kind of naming some modern, and he was just like, "No, man, like never in my life will I spend a modern book."
He was carrying every modern pick down.
Yeah. And I remember the chat and even my own mind, right? Like, hey, you know what? You collect your way. I'm never gonna tell somebody don't collect a certain way. Collect whatever you want. It's your money. Do whatever. But the thing that I find funny is some of the comments that people make with these is like, but eventually a modern book will be older. Like it won't be modern. The only problem is it's been modern since 90.
Not 90, even I think you're looking at the late 80s even.
Yeah.
They consider those modern.
But that's the problem. Like nobody's come out and been like, hey guys, yeah. So you guys are in like purple.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing. Like nobody's come out and said that.
We are not going fucking purple age. I'm sorry.
Okay. From now on, everybody that spread the word. We are now, as of 2021 to 2026. This is the purple age. Boom, done.
I think you know what? I think
Yeah, dark age for comics.
you know the cat Journals Comics.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he actually had a discussion on this at one point in his channel about how some people have brought up the idea of possibly almost like relabeling like the eras and kind of like almost like defining, okay, what era are we in right now, and just kind of shifting what is modern and what is copper almost.
Yeah, but I think eventually someone has to, and I say somebody, I think it's going to take like Diamond, or it's going to take I don't know, somebody big with pull. Like it obviously can't come from me. I have no pull. Like it's not like, I mean, if you guys if you guys want to go tell people, hey,
I think it kind of already happened.
Newbie said we're in age of purple, but nobody's come out and said, hey, you know what? Okay, it's not modern anymore. It's this.
Yeah.
But like, you have like the Bronze Age, and then you have the 90s.
Yeah.
I mean, because like the 90s almost stands apart as its own kind of thing.
Yeah, but wait,
so
so
I know they get lumped in with the modern stuff too, but
where does copper fit in? Because copper fits. I know copper comes right after bronze, right? So is copper considered like the 80s?
Or yeah, that's the thing too. Yeah, the copper goes up to the 80s or whatever the fuck it is.
I always thought copper was like 92 to like 90.
No. I think once you're getting to the 91, 92, I think you're in the.
I don't even remember what they are.
Yeah.
Well, that'll be a good debate to have. But yeah, I think it'd just be easier if whoever came up with, hey, gold, I think there's platinum, silver, bronze, whoever is in charge of that, maybe he needs to, or she needs to come out and be like, hey, yeah, it's this now.
But I agree with but
everything is modern now. You're gonna have people in 2030 say, oh, this is a modern book, and then you're gonna have people in 2008 being like, oh yeah, this is a modern book. But like, look at the spread of time.
Well, the thing is, I agree with Magic Lasso to an extent where we need a huge defining moment, because that's kind of what happened between gold and silver, right? We went from
Iron Man died for everybody. Do you guys not remember this?
But that's a cinematic thing. But we're talking about comics, dude.
Yeah.
But like,
it is a comics. Avengers 12.
Okay, all right, fair point. But in terms of like,
which is not modern.
And there we go. But like from gold to silver, like silver was defined when help me out here. That's when Flash ushered in the new era, right, of the Silver Age. Flash from DC Comics. Yeah, I think that's when they defined the Silver Age. It's apparently, I think, when there was a new Flash or something that came and ushered in the Silver Age. So they did have a defining moment to go from gold to silver. Right now, I'm not sure what the hell we're gonna do to usher in the new era.
The Age of Cades. All right. Let's get down to it. Let's get into our comic news / spec. I think the news of the week, I mean, I don't really consider it news. However, I think what was popular outside of Santa coming is Wonder Woman. Obviously, Wonder Woman 84 at HBO Max. If you're in Canada, it was on Amazon Prime. A lot of people thought it was on Crave, like me. So I picked up and purchased Crave. Idiot me. Actually, my girlfriend picked it up. So Wonder Woman came out. I have not seen the movie. I haven't had time. Like I said to Face and Hyper, I picked up a few extra shifts at work, so I've kind of been behind on a few things. I haven't had the time to sit and watch it. I do like how everybody who posted things online said, spoiler alert. So like it was easy for me not to like watch or whatever. Consensus I got from basically seeing everybody's pictures and things like that, and even comments, is I think it's at 50-50. I think 50% of us liked it. I think 50% of us hated it.
The thing is, I was surprised by the division this movie is causing among fans. I haven't seen it either myself. I'm planning on probably watching it at some point this week during my time off. But yeah, I'm with you. I was hoping we would get a lot more positive feedback, especially after the first movie. But it seems like this movie has kind of split the community in half almost.
Yeah. And I think the other thing that kind of split it, I don't want to take credit for it. The Nerd Hub actually reported it first. I just kind of posted it a little bit after. But they actually reported, and has been confirmed now, there is a Wonder Woman 3 coming. Both the director and Gal Gadot, I always butcher her name.
Gal Gadot?
Names, yeah. They're saying that both of them are coming back for movie number 3. When I posted that, and you guys can go check out my Instagram, man, people were going like, they were a little harsh. Like a lot of people were like, why? What's the point? Oh, they shouldn't have made a second one. They did. I was like shocked reading these comments, man. Like it was a little crazy.
Yeah, it's definitely see, when you get backlash like that, that actually makes me all the more interested in watching that movie, because now I'm curious, like where is all the hate coming from?
Yeah.
I
didn't hate it.
What was so bad about
it? Face, did you watch it?
I have not watched it yet, no.
Okay. So please, in the chat, don't spoil it. Just, kind of let us know what you guys think. Obviously, Lasso, I know you're going to love it. I mean, Iron Man, even though I know Iron Man 2 and number 3 aren't the greatest, I still rep my guy. Iron Man is the shit for me. So I know that you're going to not defend it, but I know you're going to see it from a different angle. Obviously, maybe tunnel vision, right? When we love something and we.
I mean, the thing is, like, okay, so like Iron Man 2 wasn't necessarily the greatest movie in the world, but like what it makes me wonder about is like, even if Wonder Woman 84 was bad, is it recoverable? Because like Iron Man 2 was completely recoverable. Now they didn't fucking do it in Iron Man 3 at all, but they could have recovered from that.
But face.
No,
do you think?
So I just wonder, was it so bad that they can't recover from it, or?
But face, I think what Iron Man also had going for it was the Avengers came out after Iron Man 2 also, so that kind of, I mean, that did kind of, I think,
yeah, that did kind of recover it a bit.
Yeah.
I think Jorge here, Universe X, is saying it was just targeted to a different audience, not meant for the 30-40-year-olds. I heard that a lot. Let's say I heard that a lot from my friends, older friends who have young kids, older guy, like older people that I know. This was the consensus. What I found was my friends who have kids, coworkers who have kids who are not comic book collectors, who don't know anything about comics. They loved it as a family movie. You know what I mean? Like they loved it. So I guess that's kind of what I'm worried about, is the fact that when I do watch it, it's probably not going to be targeted towards me. So yeah, that's just my worry. I don't know.
But I mean, yeah, because again, I haven't seen the movie, so these theories are just going to be completely spoiler free, because these are just my thoughts. When I'm hearing stuff like that, I'm wondering, is it because when you mentioned that it's targeted more towards the younger demographic and not so much the collectors, does that mean to say that the movie doesn't stay true to the source material? I'm guessing that's what they're trying to imply then, right?
Okay, so because again, and maybe Lasso is probably the best person to ask because this is his character. He loves Wonder Woman. He collects Wonder Woman. Aside from the story, aside from all of that, I think if you look at the headlines, and the thing that's going to stand out is this. From what everybody's saying, right? It's not generated. It's not targeted towards us, the comic book collectors. But here's what's going to stand out. It broke box office, even though it wasn't box office. It was on HBO and all these other things. It broke the number.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing: did it break box office records and things like that because of the fact that some people are in lockdown, COVID. We've been waiting for a superhero movie. We've been waiting for a comic book movie, and that's why it got the popularity, right? Like Aquaman, for example, perfect example. I know my mom's friends who are not into comics at all. They went to go see it because for half the movie, they get to go see Jason Momoa without a shirt on. You know what I mean? Like that. So, like, are the numbers going to reflect that, or was it just because people had nothing better to watch and they did that, right? So that's where those numbers will get.
Okay. Well, Nubia, I hope I don't get flamed in the chat for this, but I didn't hate the Aquaman movie like some people may have. I actually thought it was an alright popcorn flick, like that. You know, that I would just probably watch. Like they had some nice set pieces and all that, and I enjoyed it for what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't hate the Aquaman movie. I mean, there was shit in it that didn't make a whole lot of sense, but
exactly, yeah.
Movie. No. I'm gonna watch it. I watched the first one. I'm gonna watch this one regardless. I watch everything except Birds of Prey. I've never seen that one. I probably will never see that one. And New Mutants. I haven't seen that one. But anything else I've watched. I'll watch this one.
You seen Catwoman or Catwoman with Halle Berry?
You know what? That one I didn't, and I'm okay.
Have you seen Steel with Shaquille O'Neal?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay, so apparently there's a lot of
okay. Well, Birds of Prey is better than that. So
okay, so I'm assuming a lot of people like Aquaman. So I didn't mean to ruffle feathers. I'm sorry.
I honestly wasn't expecting quite a few people in the chat to kind of back me up on Aquaman.
I was just saying more for popularity because when sometimes these movies come out, sometimes it's not like you don't get the actual like the full picture, right? Like when you hear, oh, this movie broke records. Well, okay, did it break records because of the actor, of the story, you know, things like that. So that's all. Magic Lasso, to answer your question, Hyper is saying it is an original story, not based on a comic story.
Cool. All right.
What shocked me was all the
definitely. I mean, they
released nationally was so positive. Everyone was saying that this is a good movie, and then it drops, and people are like, "No, it's not."
Yeah, I think we should. I mean, I'm actually. You know what? I'm gonna try my best to watch it before tomorrow evening, so at least I might have an opinion.
There's a mid-credit scene.
Yeah, because you know, like when end credits roll, like
there's a mid-credit scene apparently and an after-credit scene.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, sorry. I thought.
Yeah, movies. I've noticed that a lot of movies are. It's funny how end credits used to be like a novelty. Now it seems like every movie does it now.
I felt it was a build-up movie,
right?
Something greater. Wonder Woman 84 was meant to catch different audience type and a little lighthearted. Okay, I will say I did see a few people mention that at the end there was some tears. I'm not going to mention anything, but some people did post, oh, you know, at the end that there were some tears. So I don't know what that means. Don't ruin it for me, please. Don't ruin it for us. But yeah, okay. So last question on this mid-credit scene, these end credits, do they connect to anything DC, or is this just like
you mean?
Yeah, like does it go to the plot of the next DC phase, or is it just like something else for Wonder Woman 3?
I would guess that there are probably some deep cuts into like Wonder Woman lore or something like that, probably.
Because Magic Lasso is saying there's no end credit scene, only a mid credits. So
oh, is it okay?
Yeah.
They sort of.
So then you don't have to watch it as long.
It's more of a fanboy treat. Okay, all right. So don't say any more. Thank you. Okay. Do you guys have any comic news? Hyper, we'll start with you.
I mean, look, this is more of just like, I guess, like a buyer's beware kind of thing, especially with Future State coming out. Like we know that not this week, but the following week, you're gonna start seeing shops carry all the Future State titles, and there's God knows how many first appearances are going to be coming out between all these titles. A lot of the big titles that have been talked about is that Yara Flores,
Flora.
Wonder Woman, the new Batman, and the Teen Titan with the possible first appearance of the Red X in that series. So I mean, those are the ones that I'm picking up. And I think even Swamp Thing is also probably another one where they're supposed to have a lot of first appearances. So I'm just saying, like, just be careful if you're only if you're only hunting just for those first appearances, you're gonna find that you're gonna be pretty cash strapped if you're trying to go for all the Future State titles. If spec buying is your thing, so I would say just kind of read the solicitations and go after the titles that you actually would be interested in reading. And because like I've been pulling Batman, so for me Batman was going to be on my Future State pull list, and I was already reading the Mariko Tamake Wonder Woman. So that although Wonder Woman actually has 3 different titles in Future State, there's Immortal Wonder Woman. There's
at least 5.
Oh, really? There's 5?
First, yeah.
Okay, because the only ones I was thinking of was
I mean, you got the new Batman I know of, and then Yara Flor as Wonder Woman, Red X,
and then the Superman
one. The Superman.
Superman Wonder Woman.
I think there's one in there's one in House of L or whatever. There's some first appearances.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, it's gonna be very. I mean, obviously, I mean, the easy answer would be to grab all the Future State and then you'll get all the first appearances. But then you're looking at, how many titles you're going to be picking up. It's going to be a shitload of titles. So it's going to, I mean, look, if you have the money and the funds for it, all the more power to you. But I would just say be selective, because also keep in mind, this is a fairly new concept with DC, and not every character that is introduced is going to stick.
Yeah.
So you're going to don't be mad at DC if you start buying into these characters and then a month from now they do nothing with them.
Yeah.
Because remember,
I think that's the DC thing, though. Like, I don't know. I mean, again, number one rule, elect what you like. It's just DC. It's such a hard thing to stick with. You know what I mean? Like those characters.
Well. See, this was my thing when the whole Future State wasn't out, and I'm not really the first person to say this. To me, it almost seems like DC is just throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks, what resonates with fans, kind of thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like lately DC has any long-term plans, especially with the whole thing with AT&T and shakeup that's kind of muddied the waters a bit with the corporate structure of DC and Time Warner, that kind of has put the company in a bit of a disarray. So knowing all that, it makes me I'm not as confident with DC books, in terms of where the characters are going to go. Like from a reader perspective, I'll be picking them up. But if you're solely buying DC characters in hopes of future investment on characters, I would say tread softly.
Yeah. Lasso was saying his local shop told him that they are not expecting high sales for Future State titles.
Yeah, and the thing is, my shop also, he told me that he kind of was conservative in his Future State orders, because he told me he hasn't been getting a lot of calls for Future State titles in his shop. But I think it's going to be one of those things where once those books come out that week, people are going to scramble to their LCS when they hear about these first appearances, and then that's when you're going to get people pissed off that the shop didn't order enough books for character this and character that. So I would say, look, if you're interested in some of these characters, call your LCS in advance to secure your copy. But yeah, just like I'm not gonna go too hard on this future state. I'm just picking up certain titles that intrigue me, like Red X and Batman, and like Yara Floor.
Face, any comic news, or would you like me to go first?
Right. Well, I'll keep mine short this week, especially since I seem to be having some really bad reception issues right now. But actually, mine's just a theory, and
Okay.
it has to do with the crossover series. So in looking through some different like independent titles, mostly centered around Image and whatnot, just my guess that Superman character that's been presented, I don't think is actually going to end up being Superman, because we haven't heard about any deals between DC, and Image or anything like that. I think it's going to probably end up being one. I got it narrowed down to about like 3 characters, either Invincible, Madman, or Majestic are my guesses.
Invincible would be interesting though, if they.
I mean, I could see it being possible because those characters all have similarities with Superman in costume, or Majestic is kind of just basically a Superman ripoff. But
yeah, or even
both Invincible and Madman have that similarity in costume where they have the chest symbol that kind of stands out and whatnot.
What about the new superhero that was introduced by Image as Stealth?
Sorry, fellas.
Who was that?
Stealth. You know that superhero that suffers from Alzheimer's or something, from Image Comics, that was really popular? Stealth, I believe.
Oh, I have no idea.
Oh, yeah, that's actually possible too. Another possibility. I'm really leaning towards like Invincible or Madman.
Yeah,
I think that's who it's going to end up being, one of those two.
Did you guys see this comment right here?
But I think Majestic's definitely a possibility, and yeah, that character from Stealth too.
Yeah, but because Invincible would be pretty interesting, especially because if he introduced it, would almost coincide with that Amazon TV show coming up, also, right?
That's crazy.
True.
But yeah, just going to Raider Bears comics, yeah, if that's true, it's only 10,000. That's actually pretty low.
Yeah, and at that point, I mean, I know a lot of people throw, it's low print run, it's probably going to be worth something. I mean, take it for what it is, but I mean, if 10,000 worldwide.
But keep in mind, like the I don't think this is the price for all the issues, but Batman, each issue is it's like a $7.99 book or a $5.99 book. It's not exactly a cheap book for LCSs to order, so they won't be stocking heavily on some of these future state because the margins aren't there.
Well, the news that I was going to talk to before we get into the spec side is I know that these things are only fan casts and things like that, but sometimes, guys, if you want to believe it or not, sometimes those fan votes and the things that they do are very true. So they did a fan cast. I think it's gaining more traction because for like almost a month and a half now, I keep seeing the same guy. There is some heat on it, but the guy from Breaking Bad, Giancarlo Esposito.
Oh, yeah.
Gus, if you guys watch Breaking Bad, Gus, the African-American guy that, he gets killed. Spoiler alert. He's actually the current favorite.
You're going to have to hold on just a second because you need to give Moff Gideon more respect than that.
Who?
And that's what Carlos Stanton is famous for now.
Oh.
He is Moff Gideon from The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And that's why.
And he's also in
that jump in popularity.
And just to add to that, he's also in the upcoming Far Cry 5 video game that's coming out by Ubisoft. He's actually the main villain.
Steamboat Willie,
He's all over the place. He's actually the main
he's doing everything right now.
If you guys don't know who it is, but I think I just went from something that I watched. But yeah, he's gaining traction. There is some traction of him playing Dr. Doom.
Really?
Yeah, that's what's going on.
I actually think that would be a really dope casting for Dr. Doom.
Yeah, because he has a very stoic personality. Yeah.
Yeah, they were also talking. I mean, I don't know how true it is because obviously we all know that John Krasinski came out and said he tried out for Captain America. It didn't go to him. He's also been quoted many times as saying he would love to do something Marvel. What's been going on the last 2 to 3 years? Him and his wife, Emily Blunt, being cast as Mr. Fantastic and Sue Storm.
Yeah.
If it happens, I mean, I'm okay with that one, to be honest with you. Another name that keeps popping up to play Ben Grimm, aka The Thing, is the guy that plays Red Guardian, actually, in the upcoming.
David something. What's his name?
He is
David Harbour.
David Harbour.
He is on the. I mean, and again, they're fan cast, but like the sites that I use and the ones that I follow, I've kind of been right on some of them. So I mean, it is what it is. I'm just putting it out there as comic news, so take it for what it is. But yeah, he's been kind of rumored to be a Thing. Obviously, well, you know what? I don't want to spoil it because somebody had told me a spoiler about Black Widow. So let's just say there won't be a character conflict if he is cast as the Thing. You know what I mean? So yeah, if you want to read between the lines, read between the lines. But that's just kind of what I heard.
Why don't you just say he died?
No, man, I'm not gonna say that. But you guys know how I'm excited. You know, I think Face and Hyper know more so than the chat. You guys kind of know me as like Iron Man and Venom, but one of my favorite titles, one of my favorite runs is the original Fantastic Four. So even though Riri Williams was announced at that Disney thing, I was super pumped, super excited for Fantastic Four. I love those titles, love the art, love the stories, love those old school covers, man. Like they are one of the first things that got me into comics. So yeah, I'm excited for that. And not to mention, my last note for Fantastic Four, before we get into the spec stuff, is Fantastic Four opens up a lot of windows, a lot of characters coming in and out, a lot of villains, a lot of storylines. So keep that in mind because I know a lot of people are like, oh, Fantastic Four, man. Just keep that in mind. It opens up a lot of possibilities, characters, events. It's going to be fun. So hopefully they're done right, but I got some faith. Comic Spec. Let's get down to it, guys. Who wants to start first? Hyper or Face?
Face, you got anything? Oh, wait, I think his mic is muted. Okay, now it's off.
So yeah, sorry. I'll let you guys go ahead and cover it. I keep cutting in and out really badly. I'm having some weather-related connection issues.
Are you able to hear us, Face, though?
You guys keep cutting in and out on my end too, so that's how I know I got to be cutting in and out.
All right, Hyper, I'll let you go first, brother. Comic Spec.
I mean, I'm reiterating something I mentioned before, and you actually kind of brought this up during your Champions solicitation. Sam Alexander. Wait, was that your pick also?
No, I mean I was going to talk about it, but no, go ahead.
No, I mean this is almost like you kind of have to read the tea leaves sometimes when you see these announcements. I find like again, nothing's concrete with him, but when you look at it, Miles is already has his own Sonyverse, and he's more than likely going to appear in the MCU at some point. We know that Kamala Khan's coming to the MCU, and Riri Williams. They were both announced in the same investor call. The only person.
Hold on. Before you go, just realize you're going to make everyone who owns this copy very happy. Okay, that's all I'm going to say.
But here's the thing. Okay. When I speak on these things, I always have to put a disclaimer: don't go out and buy it for X amount of dollars because I don't know what it's going for. But the thing is, I don't think I'm breaking new ground either. I think some people that are following Champions and following like these young characters, I think they already have an idea that Sam at some point will be appearing in the MCU. But my thing is, look, I have been checking out that Marvel .1 issue. I think just like you've been the last few
we've been talking about it for a few weeks now.
Yeah, and raw copies aren't that expensive. I mean, I think you could still find them in Canadian dollars for like a good grade for like still in that $40-$50 range. You have to be careful though, because there is a bit of a printing error on that cover where you see like a faint line. At first, I thought that was like a defect on that book because I did say didn't see it on my LCS, but apparently it's a common error where you'll find like a faint little line where it kind of cuts across the cover. That's apparently a common printing error, and from what I understand, CGC doesn't really knock you for that. So if you do see that, just be aware of it. But yeah, I'm just thinking like, look, people are kicking themselves for missing the boat on Riri Williams for not getting those Invincible Iron Man 7 or 9.
Sucker. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
And even the original Marvel .1 by Kamala Khan. Sorry, not Kamal. Like when Kamal Khan's first named Miss Marvel in that issue, because her first appearance was actually in the Captain Marvel series.
I think the issue with that one is there was nothing going on, and it was still like a $200 book, and people were like, "Why?" For like this time, right? And
here's the funny thing, though. Like 2 years ago, yeah, you're right. It was like a $200 book, but 2 years ago, or maybe a year and a half ago, that book was hovering just around $20, $30.
Yeah.
It's almost at that same point that Marvel, that the Sam Alexander Marvel .1 is at right now. I'm not saying that's going to jump to that same $200 point, because I think it's a different beast entirely, because Kamala Khan almost resonates with a different demographic because it's like the first Muslim superhero, and she has a lot more media attention going for her. Whereas Sam Alexander is the second coming of Nova. He's not exactly an original character either, right? Like
he's not the first one.
Pardon?
Who's to say he's not the first one, right? Instead of Richard Rider, like that's the issue that you get with those characters and what way they go. If we are all jumping on this Miles train and we think that he's coming live action, we have Kamala Khan already. We already have Riri having her own show. You can easily connect this to actually getting that Champions thing. So that's why I think people should be on the lookout for that Champion stuff.
I think the only problem with that would really be is like if they just skip over Richard Rider, it almost feels kind of disrespectful. Like
maybe
gotta give him some kind of a nod. Like they kind of did the same thing with Wendell Vaughn with Captain Marvel. Like shit was.
That was almost gonna be my point regarding what you mentioned, Newbie. Like we don't know who's gonna get the majority of the spotlight, whether it's gonna be Sam or Richard, but they have to acknowledge Richard in some facet. Because if they gloss over, because he has a lot more of a legacy, tradition than Sam Alexander does. So I think almost as a fan service, you do have to kind of acknowledge Richard Rider. Because, I mean, and I hope they don't do something in a sense where, because we know that the Nova Corps apparently was destroyed or something at some point. I hope they don't do a thing where they just acknowledge Richard Rider. It's like, oh yeah, he passed away. And then that's it. Like they don't actually. Yeah. I hope they actually have someone in the flesh playing Richard Rider before going to Sam Alexander. So
yeah.
But yeah. And the thing is, I think some collectors usually they have a habit when they only jump on a character when there's buzz around it. But you kind of have to zig when people are zagging, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
No one's talking about Sam Alexander, just like no one is talking about Riri. That book, that Invincible Iron Man, was a $5 book. I've seen it in the wild.
Man, people were laughing at me. People were laughing at me when I was telling them, like, man, this is like $20, $30 at 9.6, 9.8, and they were laughing at me. They were like, no, don't get it. Don't waste your
money. It's almost like you kind of have to, and this is where reading helps. And when you do your own research and you're not just relying on apps and whatnot to kind of base your purchasing decisions, you kind of have to do a bit of homework on your end so that you're held accountable for what you're purchasing, right? Like it's cool, like we're giving out all this information, and we also do the same where we go to different channels and we kind of absorb informations, but you kind of have to parse it and kind of figure out where things are heading. So
and you know what, that's obviously I've been collecting and reading, not more so, but I had just met and I always give credit where credit is due. I always shine the light on certain people that have come into my life through comics. But Ultra Maximus, to me, he's one of the nicest guys. He's very attentive, always answers my questions. We chat. We're usually on Drunken Chat. One of the nice guys, very informative. But yeah, that's something that he would always tell me. He goes, you have to look past what's in front of you. You got to look at the teams and the characters are there, and you got to do your research, read, and that's the biggest advice you can give somebody, especially with certain events, because sometimes people be like, man, how do you know that this is coming, or what? Like some people act like they're shocked, and it's like, well, if you read Civil War, then you knew the characters that were going to be there. Like if you knew when the titles came out of like Endgame and Infinity War, you kind of knew what was going to happen, right? And I think that's going to happen next with Secret Wars or the Secret Invasion. Like people are going to not know, but realistically, like some of that information is right there.
And the thing is, I think you even mentioned this, I don't know if privately or in public, where, when you look at apps, right? And then you see like certain key issues are pointed out, you got to keep in mind, shops are probably using the same apps as well.
Yeah, so I think I said it privately.
Yeah, so I mean, when you see like certain key issues like that's already popped up, keep in mind you're not going to be ahead of the game because everyone else is going to be up on that info.
If it's on an app, it's not top. It's not a secret.
Exactly. I mean, this is why lately those Star Wars books have been popping up. But if you talk to Star Wars fans, they'll tell you some information that's still not on those apps yet, and they'll tell you like
Well, you can even look at the Star Wars fans that when that news broke, like 5 minutes later, they're taking IG pictures with like 20 copies of the book, and it's like, yeah, I already knew this, right? Like,
I mean, I got to give a shout out to Sith Lordly. I mean, his name is, you can tell that he's a Star Wars fan, but he does like in his Spinetics, he does like a Star Wars spotlight show where it's not really a spec spotlight, but he just kind of sheds information on certain characters. What books to kind of look into if you're into certain characters.
Yeah,
and it's like, when you talk to people like him and others, that are really into that kind of genre, you'll pick up on certain books and certain issues that aren't solicited in apps or anything like that, because these are readers that are reading the books that actually know the information ahead of the general public. So that's kind of how you have to.
Yeah, that's what happened. And let's be frank right now, okay? The Iron Man run, super weak.
What do you mean, the current one?
No, just the original Iron Man run is.
When you say weak, like from like a reader or from like a spec?
Both.
Oh, okay.
More so spec, right? Spec.
Okay.
If you look at it, number 1 is the one to get. 55 is the first appearance of Thanos.
Right.
And I mean, speculate however way you want, right? Me being the Iron Man guy, me reading, I think I said it to face. I go, the one thing that I benefited from is outside of those main issues, you can pick up the whole run for like $2 a book. So I've been to flea markets. I've went through some of them, right? So like in my collection, I have like the first spacesuit, the first Stark Enterprise mention, the first this, the first Aqua suit, the first Hulkbuster, things like that. But what people don't realize is, I had people messaging me about, when they came up with Armor Wars, and they were like, oh, the Iron Man did it. What issue should I get? And boom, boom, boom. And I was like, well, I mean, there's no secret. And then people were jumping on War Machine and this and that. But like, even though 282 is the first War Machine, still a few people didn't even know that it's not James Rhodes in there. That's Tony Stark in that suit.
Right.
James Rhodes. James Rhodes doesn't appear until like I think 284 in that suit or in a suit.
I was gonna ask you, is his first appearance like, I know he was like a $30, $40 book, but now with the whole trailers coming out with Falcon and with the whole Armor Wars series, is his first appearance popping up lately?
Yeah. So, but here's the thing. So he shows up as a normal, like just James Rhodes in 118. That book has been super. I mean, I had a copy. I just sold it. Well, I say just, but I sold it in like September. It was like, I think I sold it for $60.
Hold up, you sold an issue of Iron Man?
Yeah, yeah.
Was that your double or was? Don't tell me that
No,
was.
it was just the only one, but it was just.
Wow.
Here's the thing, though. Like, you guys know what I always say. Okay, yes, it's the first appearance of James Rhodes. But what is he known for? He's known for being War Machine.
War Machine, right,
What's going to have more value, or what's going to be the more important book? It's going to be that one, right? So yeah, so that book, I mean, even at a 9.2 though, it's going for like $120, somewhere around there. So I mean, it is still valuable. It's just I didn't really think that it was going to be something I was going to keep. People were jumping on 281 and 282. Cameo of War Machine, the cameo and the first appearance. But what people didn't realize because they didn't read is the fact that it's not actually James Rhodes in that suit. Like, James Rhodes doesn't show up as War Machine in those. It's Tony. It's the armor. So then you have to look, and I think it's 184 or 284, somewhere around there, or 285, somewhere around there, where we start getting into the armor wars and things like that. And that's where you guys got my spec on. Okay, we've already seen Stiltman. We've already seen, or we haven't seen Stiltman. Rather, we've seen Justin Hammer, and then in Dynamo, and then Stiltman, and things like that. And that's when I said, West Coast Avengers, be on the lookout. If you read it, and that's why, like, I always tell Keys, I go, I feel like Keys is gonna shock the world one day because he's gonna come out with something. And you could kind of see it when he came out with his prediction of virus. Like, you guys saw in his video.
That was very well thought out, yeah.
Yeah, like, he is methodical. He crosses every T, dots every I, kind of thing.
But again, you could tell. See, that's what happens when you read the damn book. Like, you kind of pick up on things that the guy that's just reading just spec news might not pick up on.
Yeah. But if you read, you're going to be ahead, like, especially if it interests you, right? Like, Iron Man always interested me. So as I was, seeing things, like, if you guys go back to my videos that I did about Iron Man in July and August, I already talked about these books. Like, there was no secret. I had already brought and mentioned these books, right? So, like, all you have to do is read it, especially if you're a fan of it. Obviously, I'm a fan of Iron Man, so I was already ahead of that. I was talking about that Invincible Iron Man 1 that everyone's going nuts for with Riri. I was already talking about that, but that's because you read and you try to connect the dots. But again, it's spec. It's supposed to be fun too, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, Keys. And you know what, guys? I gave him so much credit because he put himself out there. He put his name, and he said, "Hey, this is what's up." And a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people be like, "Hey, man, I think it's this book because this." He actually went in front of you guys, in front of everybody, and gave you.
It takes some. The thing is, it takes.
Keys' theory was 100 times better than the shit we got.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Especially because the way he kind of interweaved that whole thing with the whole lethal protector and all that, like, I can't do justice the way he explained it, but yeah, you could tell that was very well thought out. And you're right, he did put his neck out there in terms of his take, and obviously, we know how those events folded, like Face just mentioned. But yeah, man, props to him for.
And I know he felt bad once we released the actual news, like once we got a hold of like who it was. And I remember him saying, like, he felt bad. And one of the biggest things that even though people were like crediting him and like, he said, "Hey, go get Lethal Protector 2." But I remember, obviously me being one of his closest friends, me living by him, I remember him being like, "Man, I don't want people getting upset or losing money if they're going big on this," because he was getting like DM'd and texts of like, "Oh man, I just bought this book. Oh my God, I just bought like 4 copies of this book." And you saw the spike. You saw the spike on eBay. You saw the spike on everywhere, man. It was like so crazy. how he came about that. But hey, it's all fun at the end of the.
Yeah, look. At the same time, look, we all got to put our big boy pants, and we have to own up. We have to own up to our mistakes. Look, if you're that dude that bought 10 copies of Venom Lethal Protector #2, and you're upset that things don't pan out, you have no one else to blame but yourself. Like I said,
But I mean, you should that shouldn't even have been a thing even for Virus Spec to begin with. Like, why would you go and buy 10 copies of any book, you know, for that character?
And the thing is,
people did it.
Keyes doesn't work for Marvel. Keyes is his own independent dude that just has his own theory that he just kind of put out there. And you know what? I'll give him props just because it was an original theory that and I think without a shout out, we could say no one thought of that theory until Keyes brought it up. So, yeah, man, look, we all have to hold ourselves accountable to the books we bought. Look, I'll say it myself. I lost money on Virus because I kind of was banking on that character. And
Where were you?
you know, that's on me though. So I blame the lockdown for that, because I think when you're on lockdown, you start making these stupid, crazy purchasing decisions because you're not going out and you're just looking at the internet too much. So yeah,
and I think that's something that's going to happen again with these lockdowns and things like that.
I learned from my first mistake though.
In books, going up and down. But yeah. All right. So that's your spec. Is there anything outside of Sam Alexander that you want to talk about?
No, man, I'll pass it off to you or Chase.
Okay, so I got. Let me get my notes ready. I don't even have my notes ready. Let's see here. Oh, okay. So a book that we actually talked about in our private chat. I just kind of wanted to bring it up again. If you guys follow the show, you guys know I kind of try to stick everything together. Meaning, you know, I did a Rogue one, I did a Gambit one, I did a Riri Williams, I did a Moon Knight. I try to get a Guardians of the Galaxy. I try to keep everything together. But only because it was brought up by Mr. Hyper. And I'm not flaunting it. I'm not putting it in his face. But it was a reminder. Mark Spector, Moon Knight #4, first appearance of Midnight. If you watch the show, I think the show was in like September, well before Hyper's time. But I did do a little Moon Knight section of it, and I did bring this up. 2 books that I really do believe in when it comes to Moon Knight is this one, Midnight, and Shadow Knight, which is his brother. Those 2 books I really believe in. I haven't been able to pick up or come across that Shadow Knight one though. Like I've yet to find it in the wild. It's crazy.
What issue did you say that was in?
That one, let me look it up. Shoot.
That's the first series, right?
Yeah, that's the first series. Yeah. Let me look it up here really quick on Google. But yeah, the Midnight one. I mean, what made you bring that up today?
I don't think I brought it. I think Keyes brought it up.
No, I thought it was you.
No, I'm not a Moon Knight guy, so it wouldn't have been me. That's why when you told me Hyper brought it up, I'm like, what?
Oh shoot! Okay, well then it was.
I think it was either Face or Keyes, because Moon Knight is not my wheelhouse.
Negative. That was not me. That had to be Keyes.
I think it was Keyes that probably brought it up.
So yeah. So the 2, the one that you want is Moon Knight 36. That's Randall is his brother. Randall becomes Shadow Knight. Again, you get that. Okay, he first appears in another book, but what is he considered? Shadow Knight. That's the book you want. So it's Moon Knight 36. Yeah, I mean, again, it's spec, but you never know, especially with the Moon Knight thing. It's going to be a series. You're going to have, and I talked about this weeks ago. Anytime I talk about Moon Knight, the thing with Moon Knight is it's going to be a show. It's probably going to be an hour-long show. I don't think they're going to be longer than an hour. Multiple personalities, so you're going to get a lot of different stories, right? Like one episode could be one personality and the people he meets and blah, 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 blah. His brother, his sidekick, things like that. I do really think that these 2 characters show up. Just personally. Moon Knight's going to be a little hard to not predict, right? But I mean, Black Spectre.
Yeah, you don't know which direction they're going with.
Yeah, stained glass window, stained glass Stained glass window. Stained glass.
Mary, I think it's called stained glass.
That's great.
That's what I mean, man. Stained glass.
Wait, it's stained glass Mary, right? Face.
Something. I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah, I think so.
Stained glass.
No, stained glass windows though. Completely breakable superhero,
Moon Knight.
but very colorful.
We're already talked about. Like those were the two hot ones that people were already predicting were going to happen. So
I'm definitely trying to find a first appearance of stained glass window.
Yeah, I just picked those books up too. Oh, see, that's funny, newbie. I just picked those books up 2 weeks ago. The Midnight, yeah.
Yeah, man. Listen, I went to a Catholic church and I picked up a few first appearances of stained glass window myself.
Kid Clark is saying Moon Knight may also be able to be tied into the Midnight Suns.
I can't wait until Manny drops the IG video pulling the stained glass window first appearances out of the.
That's another book that I talked about, Midnight Suns. I think you could pick that book up for $5. I think I picked mine up for like $2. Keys.
The entire run or just the?
No, just that one. Number 28.
Is that the one with the? Okay, that's the one with Ghost Rider in the front, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Team. I think it's like Punisher, Moon Knight, Daredevil, Ghost Rider.
She's not in it. You're talking about Morbius.
Or Morbius, yeah.
Yeah, Morbius.
In my head.
Stalker and
Blade.
Stained glass.
Blade.
Blade. Stained glass. Mary. Yeah. Okay. Stained glass Mary. I mean, I think everybody was jumping on that one. But me personally, I was always sticking to Midnight and Shadow Knight.
Yeah, I mean, I think I got the whole set in the poly bags at a con for like $10.
Jesus.
Yeah, but that was like last winter before the lockdown all happened.
Today with my spec, I'm gonna be all over the place. Like I said, we just talked about Moon Knight. One book that I think I don't know, and sometimes you guys always say, why do you think that way? It's like when you play the lotto. You sometimes have a guess if you bet on sports, you sometimes have a guess. For whatever reason, no particular reason why. For whatever reason, it just came to me. But Spider-Man 234. It is the first appearance of Iron Spider.
Oh,
Morales is
his uncle. Yeah. I actually have that copy book. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why, man. I just have that book in my head.
But dude, that's actually also the first appearance of the new Sinister Six, also, isn't it?
Yeah, the first team. Yeah. The new team. Yeah. It's led by him.
Polka Dot something.
I thought it was like Hobgoblin. I think those were like the two original characters, and then I don't remember anybody else.
Yeah, some dude in polka dots in it. What's that?
It was a shit team. If it involved Polka Dot Man.
Okay, yeah. No, I just remember there was like, Hobgoblin isn't an original member of the Sinister Six, but I remember it was like original Spider-Man, where I remember it was Electro and Hobgoblin, and then the other ones I don't really remember.
Right. Yeah. You have no idea who they were.
Yeah, but again, that book is, I think it's like $5 to $8.
It's funny though, because that book over the summertime, it heated up because there was news about Iron Spider or something coming, and that temporarily rose to like $20 the cover A. And
I would still pick it up for $20 though now, or even then when it was hot. Like I would have picked it up.
Here's the thing: there's actually a couple of variations of that book. There's the cover A, which is the cheapest. Then you have the Miles Morales headshot variant. That one went up to like $30 or so.
Yeah, it's a variant, right? There's like I think there's like 5 variants. Yeah,
there's a 1 in 25, and then there's also a second print. The second print actually went up to over like $100 or so, because I picked up for cover price the second print. But at one point, that book raw was going for like $150, $200. Raw for the second print, because it was a very low printed book.
And this is a book that,
imagine that, a low printed Spider-Man book.
Yeah, this is a book that a lot of people pass up because it is newer Spider-Man. It's not like, some shops, if they're not on top of their game, they might just put it anywhere in that Spider-Man section kind of thing. So you do have the possibility to run into this book in dollar bins, in back bins, things like that. So, just be on the lookout for that one. Before we continue, Kid Collector.
It's funny you should mention that.
We already talked about Nova. It was actually what Hyper started off the spec segment with. We talked about Nova. We talked about Sam Alexander.
Yeah.
Maybe just rewind, maybe like 20 minutes. Yeah.
That's crazy how that's the first question he asked.
Yeah. The other book that I actually, again, today's show, nothing is connected. Usually I stand to a character and talk about the spec, but this is another character, Lucia von Bardis.
Did not totally butcher that one.
Yeah. Well, my sister's name is Lucia, so I thought, okay, I can't butcher that.
Right.
But she's the one that takes over Doctor Doom.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, this book is Secret War #1. It's got that black Spider-Man cover. I've only seen it twice, and it was super overpriced. But that was like back in January, February. So I don't know. I don't really see it anywhere, but I don't know. I don't know if I have high hopes for this character. It's one of those gut feelings, things like that. I really like the book. I really like the character. The fact that she takes over for Doctor Doom, a character that we could possibly see in the MCU just kind of floating around, and then whatever happens to Doctor Doom, hey, you know what? Maybe she's the baddie. Maybe she's the big, enforcer, something like that.
Yeah.
But again, another book that you could find very cheap. I think I forget who I was talking to, and if you're in the chat, I apologize. I would have to go back in the chat. But I think somebody said they picked it up for like $7, $6, something like that. So it's not crazy. But again, when you're talking about Fantastic Four and people that come after Doctor Doom or things like that, I don't know. She's also got a lot of if you connect the dots, because that's kind of I try to do that sometimes. Like I'll line up like say 4 characters, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll take Riri Williams, I'll take Vin, I'll take Viv, I'll take Sam Alexander, and then I'll see who their enemies are.
Right. Yeah.
And I got them all laid out there, and I'm circling. Okay, well, High Evolutionary is an enemy to like 3 of these. Okay, so what's the possibility? Then I start reading more into High Evolutionary. Like that's just kind of how I go about my process.
Mm-hmm.
And for whatever reason, I just feel like this character, Lucia, she kind of connects the dots on some level. And again, it's a cheap book. So
yeah, I think there were actually mentions of her being a character that they were looking at possibly using in there might even have been some of the Disney Plus series or something, but I think there was some spec on a point. Now this was quite a while ago, but
so it's probably died down.
Yeah, like it never really, like, they never did anything with it, or it never panned out at that point in time. But once they started looking at these characters, if the need arises, they already have somebody that they can, a character that
and
pull from.
And it's like Hyper says, when people are zigging, you zag.
Right.
Nobody's really talking about this.
Yeah.
I think it's a consensus when we are talking right now. People are still very heavily picking up anything that was talked about in that Disney investor thing.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's picking up anything else. And this is the perfect time for people to not pick up that and go and pick up the other stuff that's down in price. It's like the stock market. You always want to buy when it's down.
Yeah, for sure.
That this is the perfect time for some of those characters. That's why, again, we're bringing light to Sam Alexander. That's why we're bringing light to Moon Knight. That's why I did that video with, keys that are down in price, because people are kind of focused on one thing. If you put something in front of someone's face, guess what? That's all they're going to see. They're not going to see around it. They're not going to see above it. they're not going to see anything else, right? So I think people are still sleeping on Eternals. I think people are still sleeping on, dare I say, Nova #1, Richard Rider. Yeah, it's an expensive book, but I mean, if we're talking about May, in May it was like $400. Now you could probably get it for like $260, right? So you gotta, ride the wave. It's still a little expensive.
Because these things come in cycles, yeah.
Yeah. So, books like Nova, books like Eternals, books like, some Fantastic Four titles that have tie-ins to what's going to happen. Be on the lookout for those. This is where you really, really want to do it. You don't want to do it like, that's what kills me is like some people, people are talking about WandaVision and they're like, oh, Viv and Vin. And it's like, man, I remember people were telling me, I think you told me about, like, you were like, hey man, don't sleep on this book, and you were telling me that like moons ago.
You mean about Vision 1?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was one of like our first conversations too. Like you had mentioned that, but it all goes back to, like, you have to be ahead of the curve, right? Like you can't, like people are like, oh, like I guarantee people are going to be picking up Amazing Spider-Man 361 the day the trailer drops.
Because it's a lot of emotional highs, right? When you see, like I think we were talking about also when Endgame dropped, right? Like I think me and you were one of the first people to see like an advanced screening of that movie.
Yeah.
Because I saw it on Thursday.
Yeah.
Like I was on a high after I watched that movie, and I think I mentioned this in the chat before, but I was on an emotional high after watching that movie that I wanted to buy something related to that Endgame scene, especially when Tony Stark puts on the gauntlet.
Too soon.
No, but case in point, I was looking on eBay and there was one that I had a book that I was on my watch list. As soon as I went to A&W, got my sandwich, I knew which store I went because the whole day was like a picture perfect, clear memory for me. Went to A&W, got my sandwich, got home, went back to eBay. That book was already snatched up, and this was like around midnight. So a lot of people are on that book. So it happens. Like you see certain videos, trailers drop, you get that emotional high, and you want to get a book related to that. And then, unfortunately, that's where people make very unwise purchasing decisions when you go straight off of emotions.
Yeah. And you know what? Like Universe X is saying, that's what I've been doing. It's time to pick up Moon Knight, Nova, Warlock, Doctor Strange, Eternals. 100% agree with you. I also brought up to you guys today on Cover Price. They did their like 2020 list or whatever. And one of the books that had a jump of 136% in sales this week or last week. I don't even know what week they would. I think it's probably last week. But it is that 1980s Moon Knight #1.
Yeah.
Like, I bought that book at like, I think it was like $70, and I have mine at 9.94. I think 9.4, 9.6. I think it's 9.4. But again, it's a book that nobody was talking about. I bought it super low.
You're right.
Nobody's still talking about it. People are buying it up because they know it's coming, and once that comes, that's when you cash in, right? Shang-Chi, another book.
I picked that up over the summer.
I totally get it. Some people are probably, and sometimes you do have to make those videos and you do have to talk about those books above 100, those books above 150, because, other people want to know too, right? Like the same way some people look at a $50 book, they look at a $150 book, right? You have different groups. But Shang-Chi, June, another 350, 500, somewhere around there, depending on the grade, like mid-grade kind of thing.
Like I picked my book up for like $300 or something, and I would say that's almost like a 7.0, and I still feel that book is undervalued for what it is.
So at a 7.0, if you paid 300 Canadian,
yeah,
I would probably say when that drops, I think you could probably grab 500 for it.
I would say so, because the thing is, especially it's a Bronze Age book also, and I feel that book has the ceiling for that book hasn't been hit yet, because again, Shang-Chi is one of those properties that even though we know it's coming, it's still, there's not much detail surrounding it in terms of where they're going with the character and all that, and the direction. So, and it's not as popular as like the other characters that are coming out, like Moon Knight or Blade. So I feel like Shang-Chi is going to be an overlooked character in the Marvel MCU.
I didn't even know Sana. Sorry, Sana. There were so many people answering. I didn't know you came in, so thank you for joining. 6-hour difference, so it is what 5 a.m. or something over there. So,
Yeah, welcome.
yeah, Sana's like one of my favorite people in the comic community. So she's saying she's got 2 of those.
And
She's also
apparently an early riser.
Yeah, she's also asking, what about the Inhumans? Since Miss Marvel is coming, it's open door for the Inhumans. Okay. Inhumans is like the whole team. So are you talking about Fantastic Four 48, or are you talking about the Inhumans Yolanda book? Which one are you talking about? Because if you're talking about the Fantastic Four 48, I mean, that's another book that I talked about in that video. Is that book is down in price?
Hold up. Are we really just calling it the Yolanda book now?
I think so.
Okay. I'm sold.
But that Inhumans book, I'll be honest with you guys. It is a book I bookmark. It is a book that I look for if I can get it in a really good price and a really good grade. I don't mind spending that extra money on it because it is a book. Even before that show, I was really hyped on. I remember wanting that book big time, and I think the thing that really helped people, unless you owned it, but I think the thing that really helped people like me who really want that book is the fact that the show tanked, and people still, it's this. But man, that book is a book that I'm always looking for on eBay. I'm looking for in shops, auctions, things like that. It's a book that I really do think in 5 years' time. I'm not saying that they're going to show up in a movie aspect, but I do believe that book will have some value to it, more so than it is now. And who knows, maybe they could get to that movie screen and things like that.
Yo, Newbie, do you mind if you can just highlight Kid Collector's question? Because he asked me about the Shang-Chi book, if I'm sending it in. The problem with that is because it's not a modern tier book, it falls under a different tier, and shipping from CGC to Canada is pretty expensive. So I kind of need to send it with other people to do a group submission, because at this point it's going to cost me an arm and a leg just to do a CGC grading on that book. So right now I'm just holding on to it raw.
Hyper, we can talk because I actually have a few books I might be sending off
that are pre-modern, because if it's modern, it is a different tier entirely.
I'll get back to you because I think I have like a handful of books.
Okay, yeah, because the thing is, 25 books is a sweet spot, honestly. At that point, yeah.
Universe X is giving some knowledge out here. I didn't want to highlight it just because, some people, maybe like me, have this information or have the book. But yeah, Kid Collector, pick it up. You're getting that advice from Universe X. If you want to invest, that's a good one. Yeah. Sana's saying Black Bolt, Medusa, Inhumans. I know there's a part in the so I don't really know. Maybe Face or Hyper can talk about it, but I don't really know the Inhumans in the Miss Marvel. I just know Inhumans, Fantastic Four 48. That's pretty much it.
I just picked up the Inhumans 12-issue run, so I still that's actually part of my reading list, so I haven't actually gone through it. I don't know, Face, do you have anything to add to that?
I mean, obviously, Miss Marvel is an Inhuman, so there's ties there to royal family and everything like that. As for I think you're gonna see like Sana said, the cameo of Lockjaw. You're probably gonna see that in season 1. There may be another cameo or two here and there, but I think they would save any actual appearances for maybe season 2 or later on down the road if they use them at all. I do believe that they want to bring back and be able to use Black Bolt and Medusa and the Inhumans but they definitely want to not have any ties to that. Yeah, that TV series that was.
You know what? Since we're speaking of Lockjaw, something actually came to my mind, and because we try to speculate on future Disney Plus shows. I don't know. This is
Pet
actually
Avengers.
that's exactly it. That's where it's going. Lockjaw and the Pet Avengers seems like a perfect shoot because we always say Stranger Academies is a good Disney Plus show, but Lockjaw and the Pet Avengers seems like a show, like a series that's tailor made for Disney Plus.
It's the first complete crossover Marvel Disney movie waiting to happen.
I mean, you have Throg in the lineup.
I'm just picturing Lockjaw as like an Air Bud, where they're like playing like football or something, and like he's kicking field goals or some shit.
And the thing is, like the merch is gonna sell in and of, like you have Throg, you have Lockjaw, like because Disney, when they pump out a show, they want to make sure that's why like the child from the Mandalorian, you saw how much merch came from that. So if a show like the Pet Avengers comes out, I'm sure Disney could make bank on those characters.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, I just think that Fantastic Four opens up a lot of characters and things like that. That's a book, yeah. That Inhumans book, though, even though the show was shit, I even talked about it in my video when I talked about that book. That show being horrible made it very good for the rest of us who want to buy that book at a very affordable price. But yeah, I can definitely see it.
Yeah, it just wasn't a good series.
Yeah, and I mean, like you said, sometimes it sucks as a viewer, but it on a spec site it does help you out tremendously.
Yeah. Tomorrow we got. Or do you guys have anything else you guys want to talk about?
I don't think Face went yet.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Like I said, I'm cutting in and out, so I'm just gonna kind of trying to.
Oh, okay. All
right. Tomorrow we will do the last show of 2020. So don't freak out. I'm not going anywhere. I'll still be here annoying you and butchering names and books and things like that. But yeah, tomorrow we'll have our last show of 2020. Hopefully Mr. Sleeveless, Mr. I don't wear a shirt, even though it's like -7 outside, will show up. Face will show up. Hyper will show up. We'll all be here. Same time, 9:30. If you haven't already checked out, tell your mailman, tell your cashier, Newbie Comics has a 1,500 sub giveaway. I got 4 books that I'm giving away. So, you never know what your cashier is into. So just let them know, hey, Newbie Comics, he's got a giveaway. Go check him out. Also check me out at Newbie Comics on Instagram. And I just want to put in light some accounts, some people. Again, guys, I don't really like promoting, I guess you could say, outside of my panel, outside of my comic family, but I don't like, because I don't want anybody to get offended. But these are people that I kind of, talk to regular basis and things like that. But make sure you guys go check out Hawaiian Punch. Go check out Universe X. Go check out Sori's Tiger. Like all these people, go support each other, go sub each other up. But make sure you guys, are doing it. And I'm not singling anybody out. It's just, these are the people that I usually talk to on a more frequent basis, let's say. Hyper, what do you got coming up, brother?
I mean, yeah, like you mentioned, I'll most definitely be on your show tomorrow. Final show of 2020 Newbie Comics. And yeah, man, I mean, just waiting to see what gems you drop in terms of names and otherwise tomorrow. I'm sure it'll be a good one. But yeah, other than that, you could follow me on IG. I know I've been a bit lax on the content. I'm gonna try to up it up a bit in terms of going back to the rate that I was posting. So yeah, we'll be doing that. And hey, man, listen, after watching this show, if you've learned anything, if you come across any old rickety church and you see a stained glass window, pop that bad boy open, because that could be a first appearance. And That's all I gotta say.
If you guys haven't noticed, in the description of the video, I posted FaceTime's YouTube channel. Obviously, you guys are on mine, so you know mine. And I posted Hyper's. And I think I put Mr. Key Issues. Even though Hyper doesn't have any content, make sure you guys go sub him up. Because he will have content, you know, someday.
21. Yeah, I'm aiming for some. I have some ideas floating around for 20. So
yeah, just make sure you guys go help support everybody out. And again, yeah, we'll see you guys. Well, before we go, Face, what do you got going on?
You know, same thing as before. I got some videos actually gonna be dropping next week now after the new year, and we'll be here tomorrow, obviously.
Sweet. I'm hoping to drop a video on Wednesday. I know I said that last week, but I'm actually planning on dropping it either Wednesday or Friday on New Year's. You know, if you're waking
We're
up.
the worst for scheduling.
Yeah, when you guys are waking up with a hangover, there's nothing better you might want to do than check out my video. So I don't know. We'll see what it is. Sana, you post links in your bio now. Wow, such an upgrade. I'm just
newbies putting in work.
I'm just trying to help. You know, I don't know. I'm trying to.
We appreciate it. We appreciate it.
Raider Bear, thank you. I will message you. My phone's been kind of going off. I think you messaged me, but I'll message you the picture of that controversial Champions book. And yeah, guys, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks again. All right.
Take care, guys.
Peace.